How we doing? Welcome to Wasted Lunch, the perfect place to waste your lunch. I'm Paul McVeigh. Woo, and it's Monday, start of another work week, which means more coffee, more smokes, more talk, and that's what I'm here for. Time is 12:03 Oven Standard. Oh, heck of a weekend. Good weekend, though. Really good weekend. I got no complaints whatsoever about last weekend. Very, very good time. I hope everybody else's weekend was great. It's good to be back, though. But it's nice to have a break, isn't it? Yeah. Something different happened last week. We got a very early start on the Christmas holiday season. And that, it's pretty early. Where are we? We're still sort of near the beginning of November, and we already put up our Christmas tree. Put it up early, but got our reasons for that. Usually we wait until about Thanksgiving, and right after Thanksgiving, then it's time to put up all that Christmas stuff. You know, the trees, the tinsel, the garland, the fancy bright lights and all that good stuff. But I started it early this year. Got a lot of kids, and they don't all live at home, so kids get older, and had a chance to get quite a few of them together. So it just seemed like a logical choice to go ahead and start up some Christmas decorations. So that's what we did. I got up a tree. My wife has this idea, and she implemented this. I'm trying to think. How long ago was the first time? I don't know if it's been a couple years or not here. The idea of having a Christmas tree in every room of your house. You ever hear of that? You ever know somebody who does that? Yeah, well, that's what she wanted. She wanted a Christmas tree in every room of the house. Besides the bathroom, one in the living room, one in the den, or whatever the heck the name of the room is this week. Okay. Leisure room, reading room, whatever the hell you want to call it this week. One in there. Let's see, living room, den, kitchen, somehow incorporate, albeit a small tree, but a tree nonetheless, a Christmas tree in there, So, have all these Christmas trees in the house, and it's pretty crazy, but, like I said, that's Teresa's thing. She likes doing. Of course, she likes doing it, but that also it's something that we all have to take part of. You know what I mean? My wife cannot carry a 7-foot tall Christmas tree around the house. She's just, she's pretty tough, but not that tough. So that requires us guys to pitch in and help with that. So everybody ends up being involved. But, like I said, these are different stages of trees, too. These are not all big Christmas trees, and they're artificial trees, We don't go out and hack down 8 million real trees for our Christmas. In fact, I'm not sure, I can't recall the last time I had a real Christmas tree. It's been years. So, artificial trees, they do the same for me as a real one. Okay. I don't, I know there's a lot of people out there, I'm sure, have preferences. I'm sure that having a fake tree just would, in their mind, just ruin Christmas for them. But I'm not one of those. Not one of those folks. I can handle the fake Christmas tree. I can handle not having the needles. You don't have that piney smell in the house, so. But I could see how people get caught up in that, and that becomes a nostalgic thing. If that's what you were raised with, I could see somebody, that being a big part of their Christmas celebration or feel, having that real tree, having that scent, that fragrance, that pine tree smell. I could see that being important to a lot of people. So I'm not knocking it. It's just I'm fine without it. I mean, that's just how that is. But either way, we got a tree up, so that's good. And although my two oldest kids were not able to participate in it, which is a shame, but what am I going to do about it? But I even put up one ornament. That's a lot of the time. That's what happens. A lot of the time, I end up putting up one ornament, but I at least put up one ornament. At least. Make sure I at least put one ornament on that tree. Everybody's got to put something on the tree, So I make sure I put at least one ornament on the tree. But where the tree is in our living room, trying to get to that tree with all them kids running around, it's pretty tough to do. Which is a good problem. That's a good problem to have. All the kids running around and having them involved in it. And, my wife said she wanted Sunday, to be family day and not a bunch of video games and shit, TV and stuff like that. So the TV was banned until the very end of the day. And then it was like, if you guys are going to watch anything, it has to be a Christmas show. It has to be a Christmas film. So yeah, we were really getting into it. So it was a good time. But here we are Monday again. And what is going on this Monday? But, I'm wearing this huge scarf, I don't know how long it is, probably about 12 feet long. I'm guessing the scarf I got on is about 12 feet long. It's not that cold in my house, but I still have it on. I just was outside, had to let the doggy poo outside, try and get her to use the restroom, which has been a very difficult thing lately. It's been challenging trying to get that damn dog to actually go outside and just use the restroom. She wants to chase squirrels. She's getting a little too damn independent lately. Okay, and independence with the dog is not a good thing. When they start thinking they can do whatever the hell they want to do, and that's what our dog is starting to get in her head. She's been wandering. Used to have one of those shock collar things, so if she'd go too far, he'd zap her. And it looks like it's time we get another one of those babies, because now she is just, if we let her outside and just close the door, she's gone. Her ass is going to wander the neighborhood. And don't want that. Don't want her ass wandering and out in the road, and that's what she's been doing. So we got to get her ass in check again. One thing that happened over the weekend was picked up a Jerry Lewis film collection. Okay, so $20, 10 films. All right, I remember watching Jerry Lewis as a kid and absolutely loving Jerry Lewis movies, and watched a lot of Martin and Lewis movies, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, because that's what was played a lot when I was a kid on TV. So I think most of the films in this collection are Jerry Lewis himself, but I know at least one of the other films in here does have old Dino in it. And So, but my wife and I were talking about it, and she didn't like the fact that when it was Martin and Lewis in the movies, Jerry Lewis was always a stooge. He was the idiot out of the two. Dean Martin was smooth talking, good with the ladies, crooner, sang and romanced the lead babes in the movies, and then Jerry Lewis was always the idiot. That's just that was the formula. That was kind of the formula for a lot of comedy teams too. One guy would be the straight guy, and the other guy would be the idiot. But Teresa said that Dean Martin used to piss her off. How he would make fun of Jerry Lewis, and Jerry Lewis would be kind of the whipping boy in the movies. Jonah, what's happening? How we doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. I was just saying I got a Jerry Lewis film collection, and wondered about it. Am I still going to find Jerry Lewis funny now that I'm a grown man? I watched Jerry Lewis as a kid and thought he was hilarious, so am I still going to find him humorous? So I'm going to find that out. But yeah, I used to just think he was brilliant. So we'll see if I still feel that way after I watch some movies. I don't know. Jonah, you ever see Jerry Lewis? Not Jerry Lee Lewis, but Jerry Lewis, the comedian. And this collection does have, it's got a couple of his classics. It's got Nutty Professor, which was one of his biggest movies, Disorderly, Orderly, which I just started watching last night, but it was rather late by the time I had a chance to watch a movie. Let's see, Jonah says, good afternoon, Paul. I am doing well. My mom and I are taking a break from Christmas decorating. Pardon me. Well, that's cool. So it's cool that I'm not the only one, that we're not the only folks who started early on Christmas decorating. Usually, we started, this was very early for us to be starting. I'm going to take the scarf off. It's very warm. I don't know what it's made out of. Yak fur or something. It's a warm scarf. And like I said, it's probably about 12 feet long, so the damn scarf, if I really wanted to, and have done on occasion, can wrap it all the way around my face and protect myself with it. It keeps more than just my neck warm. That thing is very warm. Wish I had a coat made out of that stuff. Like I said, I don't know if it's Afghan or what it is. Alpaca, I don't know what the hell kind of fur it's made of. It's warm. It's very warm. Now my neck is sweaty. But, yeah, huge scarf. And someone made that scarf for me because I still am a big fan of Doctor Who, and specifically the portrayal of the Doctor by Tom Baker. So he wore an enormous scarf in that show. So I grew up idolizing him. So somebody made me a scarf like that. See, Jonah says, once it hits November, I jump straight into Christmas decorating as long as we don't host Thanksgiving with family. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Man, hosting Thanksgiving's a real big deal. It's a lot of work. We've done it. It's rough. And Teresa goes overboard with meals in general. So when it comes to a super meal like Thanksgiving, we are talking huge here. We're talking gigantic. Thanksgiving or Christmas, oh my goodness, those meals end up turning into an epic feast, which it's great, and I'm sure it's really absolutely awesome for our guests who we're entertaining. But if you live here, okay. What's up, Sean? If you live here, if you live in the house where all these preparations and all this cooking and baking and all this stuff is taking place, even though I'm not the guy in charge when it comes to these meals, I still feel the stress of it too. Because, and Teresa does, she goes overboard with everything. Sean says, hey Sean, I hope you're doing great, dude. How are you? I mean, you got turkeys, hams, several different pies will be made, all in our home. Jonah says we will be hosting Christmas this year, so I don't have to worry too much. We still have plenty of time to prepare. Yeah, there you got, extra month there as opposed to Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving's a big bash, and then, but when we do Christmas up, oh my gosh, that's huge too. I mean, seriously, there will be several different pies made. Pumpkin, apple, chocolate. Let's see, Sean says, tiered. I imagine he means tired. Gonna take a shower when I get home from Uncle's. Okay. So, I imagine Sean means tired and gonna take a shower when he gets home from his uncle's. So, well, what'd you do at your uncle's the whole time? Let's see, this is the first time I've vaped for a while. It's probably not gonna go very smooth. Okay, that didn't hurt too bad. Oh. There we go. That's not too bad. Didn't go down too bad. Usually, Sean corrected himself and put tired. Jonah says, good thing, man. I can smell you all the way over here. LOL, just kidding. Yeah, Sean went to his uncle's and became stinky. Yeah, it sounds like Sean had... Sounds like Sean's house had some visitors over the weekend, so he escaped and ran off to his uncle's house to get away from visitors, is what I gathered from that, Sean. Well, my house was pretty damn full. We had a guest over. Daughter's friend stayed over. Sean says, the chocolate maniac. Yes, that's me. Chocolate maniac, the chocolate killer. Which, speaking of which, Teresa had that craft show, which didn't sell as much as she would have liked to have. But now the craft show, of course, I wasn't sitting in on. I was toting the kids around. We were going around town for the Christmas in the Village, which I didn't talk about. Sean says I'm the crawl space killer. Yeah, Sean's place is the crawl space. And then, of course, Jonah is the, I forget what we called him, the sore sport, sore loser, let's see, maniac or something. Jonah says he had to escape the nut house, LOL. I was on the phone with him, and all I could hear was kids screaming. Oh, shit. Wow. Sounds crazy, dude. So you were escaping. Sean's ass was heading for the hills. And now, think, Sean, it wasn't that many years you would have been one of those people screaming. And now you can't handle it. Sean says, one of these days I may have to go get some of those chocolates. Well, yeah, you should. Sean says the sore loser killer about Jonah, and Jonah says the football maniac. Yeah, either one of those are fitting. I didn't have to deal with a whole bunch of screaming over the weekend. It was actually pretty chill for all the kids that were in the house. The one day we had the Christmas in the Village, and I'll tell you, I think I plan on making that a tradition because it was a good damn time. All the shops and little stores and places in town had places that had cookies and coffee and cocoa and stuff you could stop by at all these places. It was a good time. Went there, had a trolley going on, which of course isn't a real trolley car. They don't have, trolley car tracks, but it's like a converted bus. It looks like a trolley. We rode that baby. Finally got the chance to ride on it. And they said, well, where do you guys want to stop? And I said, nowhere. We want to do the whole damn ride. So we rolled the trolley all the way through town. Even went outside of town. Even stopped at an alpaca farm. But we stayed on that damn trolley the whole circuit and came back to where we started from. This is a good time, though. We were at the YMCA. They had a huge Lego set up where all the kids can play with the Legos. They had a bounce house in there. Great time. Great time. Good family time. And we stopped at, of course, the craft show that Teresa was doing and another craft show at a different church. So, Christmas in the village in Navarre, good times. Plan on doing that stuff again. Jonah says, I don't want to know what you do in your crawl space. Yeah, maybe he gets, who knows what Sean does in there. Sean says, I can come over and scream. No, I'll pass on that. Don't really need that. Jonah says, well, I am not exactly the sore loser killer because Sean is the one who shook on jumping in the pool naked, all to chicken out and to cuss like crazy when the Browns gave Pittsburgh a run for their money. So you're saying Sean's a bit of a sore loser, is that it? When he chickened out on jumping in the pool naked, and then he cussed like crazy when the Browns gave Pittsburgh gave them some competition, which that was the game, of course, it ended in a draw. Which I still don't understand that, guys. I don't understand why they don't, play until somebody's ass wins. Play until somebody scores, and then that's it. That team won. They ought to do that. What do they call that? Sudden death or something? I don't know why they don't do that shit. But, so Jonah's saying Sean's a bit of a sore loser. Oh my gosh. Well, I personally, I guess maybe that's a stress that I avoid by not being a big sports fan. I don't have that stress of my team losing, Although, yeah, I avoid that altogether. But, still think it'd be tough as hell to be a Browns fan. Have to be very tough. Jonah says, I would rather come over and have coffee than listen to Sean scream like a maniac. I hope you have some duct tape. I can tape his mouth shut, LOL. Well, here you go, Jonah. It's right here. Fresh new roll, duct tape, ready to go for Sean. It's perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect placement of duct tape, actually. Let's see. Jonah says, speaking of sports, the Whitehall. Yes, what about the Whitehall? What about them? By all means, opine. Yeah, this vaping stuff, boy, is it different than smoking. Damn, it's different. See, and here we are again, guys. One more day where Sean says I got duct tape for the crawl space people. Jonah says, Whitehall team we played were extremely ignorant. Sorry, my phone glitched and sent my message. It's beginning to look a lot like toaster. Because my damn lighter is not working. I'll try this vaping shit some more. Yeah, you were going to say something about Whitehall there, Jonah. They were extremely ignorant, huh? Yeah, what happened there? Tell us how that played out. Let us know what happened there. Because my ass was busy Christmasing in the village, and then the next day we were setting up all the decorations there. So let us know what happened there. Because I sure as hell don't know. I'm going to go ahead and admit that. I don't know what the hell happened. I didn't see it. Don't have cable. Don't have local channels. Don't even have an antenna. Don't have rabbit ears. Nothing. Nothing. Well, say nothing isn't right. I got Netflix, so that's fancy schmancy for me. Let's see, another movie. You guys another movie I got the other day was The Grinch. I haven't seen that shit in years, and I'm not talking that live action shit. I'm talking the actual cartoon. Got The Grinch That Stole Christmas. Not the Jim Carrey that stole Christmas. Let's see. Jonah, let me see. Would you be wanting to hop on here live, dude? Get your opinion about this here football game. Just seeing. Well, here. I'll go ahead and send you an invite too. All right. Sean, so I'm gonna throw you an invite. If you pick up on it, good. But we'll see about that. Yeah, I got The Grinch That Stole Christmas. They had a pretty good deal there. I had The Grinch along with some other good old. I love those Christmas movies, the stop motion movies. Like The Year Without a Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The claymation jobs. Those are a big part of the Christmas season to me. Is watching those movies. That's a big part of it to me. I love the hell out of all those movies. And this disc set got the other day has Jack Frost on it. It's one of the lesser known titles. Okay.
What's up?
What's happening? So,
hold on.
Jonah's appearing as a beam of bright light.
I know. The heck?
Got to get the hat on. There we go. We lost him somehow. Let's see. I'll just send him another invite. Try that shit all over again. Let's see. Connecting.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Okay, that was my fault.
What happened with the game? You saw it, right?
Yeah, it was a very intense game. Not like we were down or anything, but what happened was, all right, so these guys that we were playing, I'm trying to multitask and plug my phone in as well. Oh jeez, this isn't going well. All right, so the team we were playing. Oh my, here we go.
Lighter.
Take 157. There we go.
All right.
Okay, I'm actually good to go for once. All right, so the team we were playing, the Whitehall team, what about them, which was bad, was it all started, they were very disrespectful. They didn't come out for the national anthem, which was really, kind of upsetting.
That's some Kaepernick shit.
Like, I have never seen a team that would not come out, for a national anthem at a football game. Like, I understand, like, if you have your beliefs of like kneeling on the sidelines and all, but like I don't agree with that. Like I believe stand for your national anthem, show pride for your country, and not
Right.
just not show up. But they got booed coming onto the field because they didn't even come out for the national anthem. They were interrogating the Massillon fans in the Massillon sideline by getting in players' faces. They were gesturing to Massillon fans. They were just being really ignorant and trying to start fights. And there was like a lot of bad calls also. Like, I mean, for example, like Massillon kids would have like armbands like on their arms. They'd be like, the rest would be like, oh, he has an armband, take him off. When we're all booing because like it's an armband, what's that going to do anything? Like last year at the same place, last year in Mansfield, the refs were like, oh, his jersey's not tucked in, has to tuck it in, takes him out. Just the little things that are so stupid. You're taking out players. Well, just let them play. I mean,
They were taking out players for this?
yeah, all because like Maslin kids had like armbands on. They had to take them out until they like fixed it. Until they like took their armband off. There we go.
All right. Wow, bright.
Yeah, it's an LED headlamp.
Damn. So when you said they were doing some intimidation tactics and shit like that,
Yes,
were you talking about their players or their fans?
they're players.
Really?
Yes, they're players. I mean, they were a good team. I'm not going to sit there and bash them. I mean, they had good plays. I mean, the only player that truly stood out for them that I could tell was their quarterback because he was like their whole team. He was like, let's say, uh, Tom Brady, but like he had an arm, he could scramble. This dude had over 1,700 yards rushing on the season
Oh, wow.
and over 1,000 yards passing, and I forget how many touchdowns. But it's like all he would do is run the ball,
Oh,
and like it was bad. And I mean, like I was mad, my dad was mad, my grandpa was mad, like we were all just sitting there screaming, and it was just insane. And they ended up having to call the game with like 42 seconds left because we ended up scoring. Hey Frank, what's up, buddy? We ended up scoring again. We ended up winning 35-17, but we ended up going for it on like 4th and 6. We had the ball at like the 10-yard line.
yeah.
We scored again, and I was just like, put the nail in the coffin. Just like, we might be rubbing it in, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Just keep going. Frank, that game was a damn shame. I'm not gonna lie, it was horrible. He was actually there with me.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if this is the same Frank I know.
Frank Hill. Well, his dad. You might know his dad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was
Oh, what's
horrible.
up, Frank, anyways?
Just with 42 seconds left, we ended up going to kick a field goal. They ended up blocking it, I believe,
Yeah.
or it was a bad snap. I can't really remember, but we jumped on the ball, and afterwards, the guy got in a Maslin player's face and started like throwing punches and trying to fight him. The Maslin kid
Oh,
just shoved him to get him off because he was on his face mask. He threw his arms up because he wasn't trying to get himself into a fight to get in trouble. He backs up. The whole Whitehall sideline comes running over. There's kids that are like cussing. They rip their helmets off. They're throwing their helmets at their sideline. There was a kid that had to be restrained by a couple players and coaches because he was like trying to fight somebody. And here to
wow.
come to find out, they did the same thing against Dover last week when they played Dover in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
and it's like they ended up calling the game because there was like 12, at least there was more like 12 penalties that could have been called on the play, but obviously there's only four refs. They have four flags, obviously. They threw all their flags, and one of the refs was throwing his cap. When you run out of flags, that's what you have to throw as a marker. But
Uh,
like the two principals of each school ended up meeting on the 50-yard line with the refs, and they decided to just call the game, so they sent the kids to the locker room and just they let the rest of the clock run out, and that was the game. But I mean, it was horrible. I mean, it seems like these kids had like no pride or any passion or anything because you're gonna sit there and try to start a fight. But like this was worse than the Louisville game because I remember when we played Louisville, which was week 9. They ended up trying to start a fight before the game even started, and it was stupid.
Louisville, did they show up in Klan outfits?
No, that's I get what you mean there because in Louisville, I mean they're not very fond of anybody that's not white. I mean
Yeah, that's just what I've always heard,
that's
and
what I've always heard too. But I mean, it's just I don't understand. Like I've heard some racial slurs being thrown around at the game, which I didn't really appreciate. It really upset me too because like it was right when we were parking. I believe it was like I think it was like a Maslin fan. I think they'd been drinking or whatever, but they threw out the M word a bit, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
one of the Maslin people did.
Like they were drunk though. That's the thing. But
Oh
like
yeah,
all I heard was "you stupid," and I was like, "What?"
yeah,
The reason why I got offended was because Ahmad was with us, and we just got out of the van to like go to
yeah.
the game, and I was like, "Are they talking
Perfect
about him?"
timing.
I was like, "Who are they talking about? Him or somebody else?" But that really makes me mad. That's uncalled for. Like, don't be talking like that.
Yeah.
And then I ended up like going to the concession stands, and I heard a couple Louisville fans throw out some stuff, and I was like, "Man, this is messed up."
The farther we come, the farther we seem to go backwards, I guess. I don't know. Well, I think it's a small minority of people who are like that. I hope.
Uh, I mean, I hope so. I mean, it's not a good thing to hold hold race, gender or religion against anybody. Everybody, should be treated equally. But
Yeah.
it just I don't understand why people do, just I don't know. It's very upsetting.
I think people got to have somebody to blame for shit.
I
I think,
mean,
you know,
it's pretty. I see where you're coming from. Like people always like to blame each other, but it's just like at the end of the day, like where's that going to get you?
oh, it is. It's a total waste of time. I think the whole culture of hate is wasteful. I'm trying to get a light off the toaster
Off the toaster. That's a
here.
new one.
Mm. Not for me, it ain't.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's. I don't know. I mean, I think people get caught up in this radical shit. There's all different ways that the hatred thing works. Sometimes it's groups. People get caught up.
Yeah.
Neo-Nazi, Klan, fucking whatever shit, and I think it's people who don't feel like they belong, I guess. I don't know, and find these little weird ass niche groups and
Like I don't get why people. I don't understand it. It's just like at the end of the day, like we're all equal as one. It's just like I don't know. It just like I don't even know how to feel about that. It just upsets me in general.
yeah, well, I mean, we all got to live and we all got to die and the thing is to me, my philosophy is trying to make the best out of that time in between being born and dying, trying to make the
Right.
best of it. And to me, making the best of it is I don't enjoying life. I like people,
Hmm.
and I try and make my interactions with people pleasant. Try to be courteous, I mean, I'm not perfect. Fuck, I ain't perfect, but
Nobody's
I
perfect.
would rather somebody walk away and being like, yeah, it's a pretty cool dude, and that
Right.
be, but I don't know, man. People get caught up in that fucking hate game. To me, being a miserable bastard does not seem like a great way to live. Seriously, because um, it's like I don't get into the politics game.
Right. I mean, politics is politics. Like, I'm not a person who's big on the politics, but it's just the whole fact about it. How I look at it is the only way we could truly change as like a society as a whole is by coming together as one and like believing what is right from wrong. That's the only bad part about it is there's many people who have many different views on politics. There's people
Yeah,
who want to like start hate and they like don't want anybody with certain beliefs or cultural differences be like, oh well, we don't want you here. Like how I look at that is people who do not have citizenship and who are here actually illegally, I believe, should not be here. Like, if you earn and gain your citizenship, open arms, welcome.
yeah,
Everybody deserves a good life. It's the land of opportunity. Everybody deserves it. But for those that are just cheating it and trying to get here illegally, I don't support.
yeah.
Is there's
So you
there,
feel there? Well, I mean, there should be regulations
right,
going on.
but nothing too extremely strict where like you punish them by like sending them back to like death or something crazy like that. Because I've heard about crazy stuff like that,
Hmm.
which I like it wasn't here, but like other countries are like very strict on it. If like you go somewhere like illegally and you're like trying to flee, like you could go back and be executed.
Yeah. Well, my brother worked for the Coast Guard,
Right,
and a big part of his job was in the Gulf and around Florida, and a lot of the times what they did were they intercepted illegal migrants. Okay, and
right.
that's just what they called them, migrants, and then they would take them back or whatever. And I guess one of the big places people really hated to have to go back to, and I don't know the reasons behind it, but was I guess Haiti was not a cool one to
Boy.
get sent back to. I don't know why, but he said those people, you know, I don't know. He said they were not thrilled about having to go back there. I don't know if bad shit happened to them because they were trying to flee from there or not. I don't know the situation there, but
I don't know.
I lucked out. I lucked out to be born here.
Right. It's just like I'm grateful for, what I have, where I come from. And it's just like, I'm grateful, for the friends, family that, I could have and be surrounded by and where I like where I've come from. Because in some countries all they have is their religion and faith, which I'm glad to have mine too. Like I'm glad, like every day, like I'm thankful just to wake up and be like, I'm here. Like God gave me the gift to be here another day. Just like some countries, you don't have that opportunity. Like one
Yeah.
minute you could be just sitting in silence, and the next you hear gunshots ring out, either because it's a combat zone, or you're being taken away because of religious beliefs and being persecuted for it.
Yeah.
And it's
Or a piece
just
of artillery comes down on your ass and you're
right,
3 million pieces all over the
right,
place.
and like you never know what's gonna happen, and that's very sad. And like I feel bad for those who will never have the opportunity to enjoy life and not have to live in fear every like not have to live in fear because like there's people that live in fear every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, in America, I think a lot of the shit people are bitching about with one another, the only reason they're bitching about it is because things are uh there is so much leisure here that
And then you let politics get in the way, and then you complain about, oh, who's president, oh, who is getting elected, you know
yeah.
governor, and like all this crazy stuff. They like let let politics like run their lives. They don't
Oh
sit
yeah.
there and just enjoy what they have. They always have to complain about it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like I understand that people have different views on things. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. But to be miserable and to make others feel bad and to start fights and arguments over things that you don't agree on, like we're supposed to, you know, come together as one, not hate each other. You're not going to get anywhere if you hate. That gets you
Yeah.
nowhere.
Well, the
Like
politics now, I mean, it's getting to be a really hateful ass atmosphere out there, man. I mean,
it just
violent.
it does it is. It's like everybody like, oh, you know, oh, we have Trump as president, this, that, and whatever. Like, yeah, okay. That's who was elected. He's our president. Respect the man. Even if you don't like some of the things he does, respect him. He's in charge. It's okay. It's over. But at the end of the day, he's not the one, you know, that reigns on top. In my opinion, God's the one who's on top no matter what. No matter what Trump does, I just hope God like guides him in the right direction instead of the wrong. Because I would
What
not.
do you
What'd you
what
say?
do you think makes I mean, Trump
Okay.
in particular, what do you think makes him so I mean, because the second he got in office, I mean, we're talking literally friggin' hated to the point where comedians are doing comic sticks, pictures where they've got his decapitated head in their arm and all that kind of shit. What do you think in particular makes Trump so hated by so many people? What do you think?
Like
What's special about him? Do you think it's the fact just that he was a super rich guy before he became president, and that's all there is to it?
personally, I think people just like to hate on him all because they're like, oh, he had no political background before. He's a businessman. He made the big bucks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he did, but yet he still decided to run, didn't he?
Oh
He
yeah,
like it was his choice to put it out there to run. It was his choice to do the things that he's done. There's I personally I respect the man. Like there's things that he has said that I might not agree on, but yet again at the end of the day I can't complain because that's who we elected and that's our president and I respect him for that. And I mean I will respect him and whoever is in office, no matter how tough things might get or how good things get, because as a country as a whole you're supposed to support it and you're supposed to love your country with all your heart, and that's how I personally feel.
yeah. Um,
And also wanting to go in the military, that's also a big factor. Is if you like, I love this country to death, and like I'm not gonna sit there and say negative things about who's in charge because military is always what I wanted to do, and like as I'm in the military, I'm serving that leader and my country. So I can't sit there and say anything negative, even if I don't agree with certain things.
yeah. Now let's talk about the you in the military.
Okay.
What's going on with you there?
All
What's
right,
happening?
so what I'm currently in the process of is I ended up getting my application for the Air Force. I originally wanted to go into the Army. Like that was my dream. Like from when I was younger, I always wanted to go Army. It was Army all the way. And then my grandpa was like, "Well, I don't want you to go in the Army." And I was like, "Well, why is that?" And he's like, "Well, I was drafted and I was sent to Vietnam." And he's like, "I don't want to see you go through the same things that I had to go through," which I didn't really understand at the young age. And then as I got older, he's told me more and more of his experiences of what he had to deal with and face in Vietnam, and the things he had to do and witness. And I come to realize I was like, that takes a very strong, brave, and committed person to do those things. And it scars you for the rest of your life, regardless of, oh, years go by, I'll be fine. I mean, I words can't explain how grateful I am for people who put their lives on the line and who selflessly would give anything for their country. Like I have so much deep respect, love, and respect for those people, and it's just to know what they've gone through and to actually not be somebody who's experienced it. Well, I'll never truly know what it's like,
Yeah.
but to hear it is it's so surreal because you wouldn't imagine those situations unless you ended up facing them. But after talking with him, I said, okay, well, I'll consider talking to other branches. My second pick was the Air Force. Well, I went to talk to the Army recruiter first, and after talking with the Army, I decided, well, maybe I should go check out the Air Force. And like I started talking with the Air Force, and I had contact with the Marines, and I talked with the Marines and the Air Force and the Army. I talked to them, back and forth. I was just like, I'll explore my options. Well, when I went to talk to the Air Force recruiter, right when I walked into the recruiting station and I sat down and actually got to talk with him, I felt at home. Like I wasn't worried about maybe maybe getting persuaded per se, to enlist and sign. But it was more I felt comfortable with where I was, and I grabbed my applications and all that. And then I decided to fill it out. Well, I haven't completed every part of it yet, but I'm planning on after sometime of the first of this year is when I plan on turning that in and following up on pursuing it. Because I wanted to just
Okay.
spend the rest of the year, with family and friends, and like I've also applied for like different jobs, and I mean I haven't really heard too much back from that, so I'm just gonna, which is okay with me, but it sucks, but so is life. But I'm
So,
just in the
when did you
process.
graduate, Don? When did you
I
graduate?
graduated this past school year in 2018.
Okay. All right. So, hasn't been that damn
No,
long.
it hasn't been. But since
What's
like I
up, Jimmy?
graduated this past May, and it's like, yeah, I've hung out with friends. I've went on senior trips, and yeah, I've spent time sitting around the house and doing things. But besides that, I've been like helping like my grandpa, or I've been out and about doing things. And it's just like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a job because you obviously need money to keep going by. If you don't have any of that coming in, you're kind of screwed. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. You got to
so
have that money, man.
so I'm very frugal per se when it comes on spending my money. Like I've only spent it on things that I truly needed, which is good. But that's why I've looked for a job to just save up some money for by the time all that paperwork gets processed, because it takes up to 3 to 4 months, I believe, for all that paperwork to process for you to be able to go.
Yeah.
Because they have to put all that into the system. They have to do a whole government background check on you, and
Which I'm sure that background
medical.
check is deeper than ever.
Oh, yes, it truly is. They sit there and they'll look up all your medical records, uh, your history, your social media pages, just anything and everything. And I
Damn.
mean, it's a good thing for them to do that. And like the crazy things, like for example, the most crazy thing in that application that I could say was there was a couple questions that it said, anyway, are you affiliated with any sort of terrorism? And I'm sitting there thinking,
Gosh.
who in the right mind would put yes?
Right.
But yet
Right. Who's going to
again,
admit to that?
it's the U.S. government we're talking about, not just
Yeah.
some Boy Scout group.
Right.
So I understand why they are so serious about it, and like more power to them. You got to be safe after 9/11. All
Yeah.
things
Well, it makes you
changed.
wonder. Makes you wonder how many assholes actually sign yes. Yeah. How many people put, actually put some, fill in the blank and said, I'm with this and that group. What the hell? I mean,
I,
yeah, I
I don't
understand it.
understand that. Like, even if you were, why would you put yes? Like,
Right.
it takes a lot of balls to admit to something like that. But
Yeah.
even if you put you were like let's say if you're affiliated with some sort of like a hate group, I'm pretty sure by putting that on a government application, the government would come look for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? Like, they'd probably send like the FBI or somebody to your door and be like, "Hey, you're so and so. You're
Well,
affiliated with this. You're gonna have to come with us for further questioning."
yeah.
Like, they're not just gonna be like, "Oh, he's part of this group. Whoa, we're gonna let him go."
Yeah.
No big deal.
Well, and I mean, that's also just, that would definitely weed out the totally moronic people too. I mean, but there was that case, I think it was the Fort Hood shooting.
Yes, that was in Fort Hood. Yeah, that was what, last year or the year before.
I don't know. I don't know when that was,
But
but
that was really sad. Like, I mean, the guy just snapped.
yeah, I read something about I think the guy was a friggin' psychiatrist or something.
Really?
I'm don't quote me, look it up, but
Right.
I think he was and got converted to some kind of Islamic jihad bullshit and, started feeling his roots. And that's the thing when we were talking about being an American and immigration and shit like that, because, most of us really, I mean, we're the product of immigration.
Right.
So, I mean, there is a greater when we're talking about the differences of beliefs and stuff, there does need to be that, just a few common core American kind of beliefs that you should have to become an American citizen that
Right.
apparently these people ended up rejecting, if this dude was in the military and then goes jihad and shit. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy, but there's crazy people that do awful things.
I know. There's it just like it's hard. It's like it's hard to even imagine. I mean, I don't truly understand how somebody could totally devote themselves to something that's so hateful and that just it wants to self harm not only themselves but many other people, maybe millions, maybe a select handful. You never know.
Yeah,
But
I
but yet again, why would you want to do something like that? Like, I don't understand. Like from my points of view and understanding is I truly believe it's just like we're all supposed to love each other no matter what. Yeah, we might have differences in cultural beliefs and everything, but at the end of the day, like, where would we be without either a faith in God or a God that people might idolize?
yeah,
But
I don't know.
it just like some people will say, "Oh, well, well, I don't truly believe," or I believe in this," or "I don't believe at all." Oh, I just think it's just evolution. We're just here. Like, hey,
Yeah,
more power to them. Like, you can believe whatever you want. That doesn't bother me, and I'm friends with people who don't believe at all. But it's just like I try to sit there and I don't push it on them. Be like, oh, here's a Bible, you need to read this, or oh, you need to go to church. Oh, there's something wrong with you if you say you're a Satanist. Or I don't do that. Like, I don't hate. I don't judge. Like, if you want to believe what you want, you can believe whatever you want. It's just
I don't,
I wish more people would come to realize that we're supposed to love each other instead of hating each
yeah,
other. It just if
yeah.
if
Well,
if that would happen, we probably have less hate in this world. But
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, when you've got a large amount of hate with very little tolerance, people get their asses killed. I mean, people kill people, and
it's very
I mean,
sad.
like
But
the mass shootings happening, and I don't know if they're happening with more frequency. They sure hell seem to be happening more frequent. Um, there was just another one over in California at some place. I don't
Yeah,
know,
it
bar.
was at like some bar in this. And I believe it was an older gentleman. I believe. But
Ah,
I don't know. It just like I hate seeing things like that, and like things that also bother me is like the news. Like pretty much all the news covers is like very tragic things, like people being murdered, mass shootings, deaths, wildfires, all this tragic stuff. And it's like if if you're going to focus on the hate and all the negativity in this world, more people are going to see that, and more people, and some people that are not right in their mind will think, "Oh, well, this is okay to do," and they'll do it.
yeah. Well,
Why don't you cover something that is like better off? Like, for example, why don't they cover like on Veterans Day or Memorial Day how Boy Scout troops go out to the graves of veterans and plant flags in their graves, or people doing kind things for one another instead of all this hate.
yeah.
I don't.
I was I was reading an article by a reporter, and the article was about reporting on mass shootings. Okay, it wasn't
Right.
on a specific one. Okay, although this was right after that California thing went down, but he was talking about a shift in the attitudes and the way that a lot of reporters are reporting on these shootings now. They're starting to focus less on the actual shooter and their motives. They're trying to not say the shooter's name as much. They're trying to focus more on the actual victims to try and
Right.
take away from
Take away from the negativity.
and glorifying the shooter, and they're
Right.
hoping that this will be less inspirational to other people thinking about shooting people.
And it
You
just
know,
it's
pointing
very
to.
sad because yeah, we've always had like shootings and that happen. That's happened for years, but the one that really sparked this whole so like I don't want to sound like a horrible person for saying this, but like for spark like a trend of it, so to speak, would
Yeah,
be the whole Columbine situation.
I already knew what you were going to say before you said it. Yeah,
Before that, you didn't hear anything really about a shooting.
yeah. I
And
mean, there's websites devoted to those sons of bitches, dude.
and I mean, I like for example, one of the shooter's moms is a public speaker, and she'll go out and she'll talk about she's not happy with what her son did, and she does not believe it was not a good thing at all.
Right?
But she wants to go out there and tell her story of her son and what caused him to just snap, or his motives, or things that she knows of why that would lead up to that, to help others prevent that from happening, which is a good thing. But then
Yeah,
there's people out there who praise them, and they're like, "Oh, they're such a great person." No, they're not. They're not at
yeah,
all. I mean, I don't truly get it. You do something so horrible to get all the attention. It's
yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't know if the mentality is everybody. Everybody wants to be important for
right.
something to someone. And I think sometimes people feel like they're just so X'd out of society, I think, and they become pissed off and frustrated. And some people, man, that's their idea of That's their way of getting back at society, is literally attacking it, you know? I
And as
mean,
you were sitting there saying people want to be important to somebody or someone or to idolize something and try to please them, like what sparked in my head was the whole situation there of the whole ordeal was they're they were what was it influenced, okay, they were influenced about the whole Nazi background. Like
yeah,
I don't know why, but I think they were like obsessed with like Hitler or something crazy
right.
like that.
Which
Uh,
is weird because one boy was Jewish.
right,
He
right.
was half Jewish.
But I believe they it was on Hitler's birthday is when they actually planned all that to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. It's weird.
What are you saying, Mom? Touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. I'll call your phone in a little bit. What you misplaced your phone? I'll find it for you. I hope you didn't leave it in the attic. Oh,
Seems like a strange place to leave. Oh yeah, you guys were Christmas
yeah.
decorating.
My mom and I are Christmas decorating, and she's going up and down from the attic right now, grabbing some totes. And the attic is connected to my room, and she started singing. I was like, "What are you singing?" And she started singing, "I Believe I Could Fly."
All right. Well, tell your mom we might have to get copyrights or something in order to keep it on the show, you know?
A copyright strike.
Yeah.
Oh, because we started singing a song. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Those fucking Columbine kids, man. That was it's weird shit, but a lot of people, yeah, I mean, they I think they actually became, to a lot of fucked up people, I think they became kind of a measuring stick to try and aim for, you know?
Yeah, and I don't understand why people want to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna one up them. Like, who would in the right mind do it? The saddest shootings that I know of personally of me being alive would have to either be Sandy Hook or the Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah.
Those two
And
are the worst that I've been alive for, and the Sandy Hook is just completely sad. It was all a bunch of little kids, and it was around Christmas time.
well, you know what's weird about that one? You know what's weird is, did you know there's when I say a group, I don't mean, you know, five people hanging out at somebody's house, but there's uh, a group of people out there that don't even believe that shit happened. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, there's people who think it's a conspiracy.
Why would you just make something like that up when there's parents that are grieving of a loss of a child that was no older than the age of 6?
Dude, there are people who went. There was a dude who went to the school board over there in Sandy Hook, or whatever the actual name of the town. I think it's Sandy Hook. Went over there and accused them of covering shit up and everything else. Yeah, saying it was
But
bullshit.
that really upsets me because those kids are the same age as what my sister is right now.
Yeah,
And it's just like I couldn't imagine having to go through something so sad like that and tragic, and for somebody so hateful to not only do that to those children, but he also went off on his family too. He went after his parents,
yeah,
and his mom worked at the school.
yeah. It's weird.
So it's just
Weird.
like he got his mom before she got up, then got his dad, then went traveled to the school, and then went to like a couple classrooms. But like
Wait, did he get his dad?
either his dad left earlier or he
Because
got him. I think his dad was out of
I
town or
can't
something.
remember. I know he got his mom. I know that for certain. Just now, could you imagine though? Could you imagine this shit? And you're from there, and let's say you're lucky enough that that wasn't one of your kids that were shot, but
Right.
or that it was, or that your kid went to that school and was now fucked up for life, you know.
Right.
And then somebody coming around saying that shit didn't happen.
That would really bother me.
Well,
By all means, like that would really hurt because to have somebody tell me if I would have lost family in that situation or known somebody who did, for them to sit there and have the right to say it's a cover up, it's fake, it didn't happen. When this is all around the holidays and you have families that are now grieving the loss of not only a child, but it's Christmas time, and that whole time of year is ruined for them for the rest of their lives.
oh yeah, dude. Serious. YouTube that shit. Google it. Whatever. Look up Sandy Hook hoax. You'll find all kinds of shit. I mean, there are people who think it's completely made up, think they had these kids, you know, going through a drill and then release this story. Now, I don't know what, you know, people are saying the motives would have been behind this. I don't know. Gun control shit. I don't know. It's probably different ones.
But like for somebody that would even try to make something like that up, that is so beyond wrong. And just like I don't understand why somebody would even dare try to lie about that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need me to
Well,
take
you
it
know
to?
what's sad about this whole mass shooting shit is that
Are there more up there that we need?
Yes.
Which one?
Jonah, can you take this downstairs, please?
Yeah.
Take this.
Well,
what's bad is,
I'm going for a journey. I'll have
oh, okay. Where are we going?
downstairs.
Okay.
You'll probably see the ceiling for a minute because I have my phone on top of a tote.
Big fan of those ceiling shots.
Oh yeah, I know you are. Oh, oh man, this one's heavy. Oh wee!
What are you carrying?
A tote with Christmas decorations.
Ah, see that's the beauty of me having teenage sons. Now I don't have to do all of it.
Well, I usually get most of these down myself. Whew. But my mom has a couple days off, and her and I decided to start decorating for Christmas. And yeah, so we decided to get all of this totes down, and it looks like Halloween and Christmas threw up everywhere.
Jeez.
I mean, it's a disaster.
Oh yeah, dude. We still have a couple Halloween things up in the yard, and so we're looking quite hillbilly because I put up a Santa door hanging thing, you know, where it looks like Santa's on the front door, and then
Right.
we got a guillotine in our front yard still.
A guillotine and Santa
Yeah.
Claus. Perfect combination.
Yeah, well, it definitely brings new meaning to a sleighing song, you know. Tonight,
Wow. So
you know.
all we really got done so far was I put up the tree.
Oh, okay,
I don't have
cool.
it lit because we have to restrand it, and then my mom and I, well, my mom decided to put like garland on the mantle and a bunch of lights. So that's pretty much what we got done so far, and then the rest of the living room is a disaster. I'm dodging totes as I'm walking by. I couldn't get
Oh
in
yeah.
there,
I don't know why.
and your phone's down here. I can't even talk.
It's down higher.
Your phone is down her. I heard it go ding ding. I don't know
Yeah, I think
where. I
you,
came.
That's my phone down her.
I heard your phone going ding ding down her.
yeah, I think you even called it a throne for
A
a second.
phone. I
Yeah.
can't even talk right now.
This boy can't talk. Let's put him on the air.
Yeah, right. He's entertaining. This boy can't talk.
Oh boy.
Oh, geez, I got more totes to take. Oh, God. Okay, I got 2 more to take down.
All right.
So I'm doing some nice lifting and talking at the same time. It gives me something to do.
Yeah. Well, you can walk and chew bubble gum, I'm sure, then.
Oh, yeah.
If you can do that.
Hey, at least I'm not in Giant Eagle this time.
Yeah.
That was funny, though. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing. I was like, literally, and my dad's like, here, grab a box of cereal you want. And I said, okay, Dad. So I walk up. I go to grab a box of cereal. And you said something. I can't remember what. And I started laughing at I started laughing. And he's in front of me. He turns around and he's like, what are you doing? I said, nothing. I just thought of something. But here I'm laughing at a box of cereal. And Sean is sitting there typing, and what Sean's saying is making me laugh. And it was awkward in a way because people were walking by me just looking at me all fun. Oh, you were going to get that one? No, sorry. I'll put this one next to it.
you, you know, another thing that makes people look like
Okay.
lunatics. Them fucking, those Bluetooth.
You're welcome, Mom. Oh, yeah, the Bluetooth.
Yeah. Somebody comes in and they're just fucking yelling and hollering and shit.
You're like, dude, you're in the middle of public. You're like, why
Yeah.
are you screaming?
Yeah. It looked like schizophrenic or something, you know?
Yeah, and then you realize they're talking on the phone, and you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like looking around and shit. Is this guy talking to me? What the hell's going on? And then, you know, and people drive past in the cars, mostly notice this in the parking lot or at traffic lights, and they got their stereos blaring, but it's their phone. It's their phone.
Right, and I'm like, dude, I can hear your conversation. I don't want to hear
Right.
you talking about your daughter's bowel movements or
Yeah, or your wife's new vibrator, you know? I mean, come on.
like you never know what anybody would be talking about.
Yeah, you can fucking hear it all. You
I'm
can
like,
hear,
you hear stuff you don't want to hear sometimes, and I'm like, good for you, but I didn't want to know. I don't even know you,
right,
but good for you, dude. Like, I don't want to know your personal life.
right. I
Like,
mean, it's a good technology as far as safety
right,
wise,
right.
keeping people from texting and shit like that. You know, I understand that. But as far as, yeah, I mean, and you know, people bitch about invasion of privacy, but when somebody's sharing it all right there, I mean, it's nobody's fault but theirs, and people do it.
Like, some people have no care in the world. They'll just say the most awkward and most personal things ever.
Yeah.
And you were left thinking, well, I didn't want to hear that, or
Yeah.
well, that just made my day because you sit there and you're laughing at something that was so
Yeah.
personal
Oh,
about
yeah.
somebody, and people were like, they don't even care. Like, even if like, somebody hears it, they're like, oh, well, whatever, who cares? But like,
Well,
if I truly wanted to know something personal about somebody, you would think, hey, would you mind if I asked this instead of saying, oh, well, I overheard it, you know?
yeah. Yeah, people don't give a shit. I mean, you know, to some extent, of course, you know, I share somewhat personal stuff, I guess, when I'm out and about and I shoot a little bit of a video clip, but, you know, but I do stuff to kind of promote things, you know, like that village, oh gosh, Christmas in the Village, you know, I shot a little bit there just, you know, giving people an idea, hey man, this is cool, you might want to check this stuff out, but they don't get too personal when it comes to that stuff, you know?
Right, which is understandable. You don't want to sit there and you don't want to be like, oh, well, my deepest secret is this, or the most crazy thing I've ever done is this, because it could be totally embarrassing and totally
Yeah.
awkward. Like, why would people want to know about this or that? Like, some things you don't want to share either on a social media platform or even at all.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you're lucky enough to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, well one of the dumbest things I did was I kicked a cannonball in somebody's front yard."
Right.
And I'm
Yeah,
sitting
now
there
I
and I'm
did share
like,
that.
"Yeah, right." And I'm like, "Well, nice." Like, that would suck. Like, I could only
Well,
imagine how bad that hurt.
yeah. It did, but it's a good story and it's
Right.
true.
It's
And
true, and it's not like something you had to like make up or like to have people show like sympathy. You're like, yeah, look how dumb I was. I thought it was a ball. I
yeah,
wanted to kick it.
right.
Like I've done some pretty dumb stuff. Like I remember I was at the reservoir when I was younger, and like they used to have like fallen trees across the river there, and I would always try to walk across the trees. Well, here
Yeah.
one time I slipped and I almost fell in, and I slipped and I'm like hanging on to like the down tree, and I had like climb my way like all the way to the other side because I almost fell
Oh
in.
shit.
Right. Or like when I went sledding with my dad, like he bailed because he was gonna hit a tree, and then a sled lands on top of my face. I can't see anything. Like I'm like by the time I got the sled off, I was like, oh, I smacked a tree. A tree was in front of me
Oh
by the time I
shit.
was able to get it off of me, and then I ended up rolling down the rest of the hill. My dad's sitting there laughing. like I could have like
Nice.
busted my face, and I'll be sitting there laughing. Oh, he's hurt. But yet again, all I did was like hit it and roll, but I one of the most embarrassing things that like from like recent that I know of. This wasn't really embarrassing per se, but I went sled riding with Sean, Garrett, and Iman. But we went to the reservoir, and by the basketball courts, they had like a bunch of tree stumps that where they cut down some trees down on the hill. Well, it was covered with snow. I couldn't see him. And the guys were like, hey, man, watch out. Like, it was like something you'd see in a movie. Hey, watch out for
Yeah.
that. What are you talking about? Smack. Well, that's literally what happened to me. I was going down the hill. All I heard was Sean and Garrett yell, hey, man, watch out for the tree stump. I said, what the hell? What are you talking about? I don't see no damn tree stump. I hit the tree stump. I launched
Ah.
over and I landed on ice on my butt and slid all the way across the basketball court almost.
Yeah.
And it
It's
hurt
better than
so
your
bad.
face. Better than your
Yeah,
face.
yeah, I'd rather have it not be my face because that would hurt really bad. I mean, worst thing I probably did was I cracked my head open, but I did that when I was younger. I was on a treadmill and I had the
Oh
safety
yeah.
clip on and I was
Yeah.
running and like I mean I had it going pretty fast. I was able
I
to
was
run on it.
running.
I was running. I felt like running. But like I was just bored, so I was like, you know what, I'll do this. So I hit the stop button, and as I was going to get off, I stepped off with one foot, and the clip popped off, and it shot me backwards, and I slammed my head on a grandfather clock that was behind me.
Damn.
Yep, and I needed stitches. And I remember feeling the back of my head, and actually, not to sound gross, but one of my fingers found exactly where I cracked it open. It was covered in blood.
Oh yeah.
And all I heard was
Yeah.
sloshing and gushing. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you bleed like a son of a bitch from cuts on your head. I
I
I
was
went
scared.
through a broken window and bled all
A
caught my head
broken
on a
window?
yeah, well it was already broke and it came down to a point and I was trying to
Oh
crawl
no.
under it and it caught my head and
Oh.
I felt my whole back of my head and neck started getting wet and
Oh no.
yeah, then my sister saw me and almost fainted and I'm like, what's wrong? And I fucking blood all over the
Ooh.
place. Yeah.
That and one of the most scariest things like didn't happen to me, but it was my younger cousin. Not my younger cousin. Oh my gosh. My cousin Caleb. My youngest cousin's Lucy. Well, he is the younger. Well, whatever. At the time, it was just him and I. Like
Okay.
our siblings weren't around yet, but we we would it was at my grandparents' old house, and they had one of those like windowsills that had you'd lift it and have like storage compartments there in the windowsill. Well, here
Uh,
we were sitting in the one room, and we would always goof around and charge at each other with pillows and smack each other as hard as we could. And here
nice.
I'm like I remember we were doing that, and I jumped onto the couch and he came charging at me. I blocked him because he almost got me in the face. Well, he bounced off of me and he was going towards the window, so I went to grab him and I grabbed his shirt, but I lost grip and he smacked his face on the windowsill. And he comes up and he gashed his eyebrow open, like right here, and
Ah,
all I saw
shit.
was half of his face was covered in blood, and he was screaming. And all I remember saying was,
Ah,
"Oh my God!" I got up and I ran because it scared me so bad.
damn. So how old were you when that happened?
Oh my. Okay, so if I'm 5 years older than him, I was 5 when he was born, so he must have been at least maybe 5 at this time, 5 or 6.
Oh my.
So I was either 10 or 11, maybe 9, 10, around something around there, and it really scared me. Like I really felt bad, and like to this day, he doesn't like anything that's like like red, like for example like ketchup or anything. He can't
Really?
yeah, like it scares him that bad that he can't eat any ketchup or anything that like that, like reminds him of blood because of that situation. But
Damn.
it's just like crazy things like that have happened.
Shit.
But
Well, out of all my injuries, I never had that effect happen on me with red. If I would, then maybe I'd keep my big ass away from pizza, because
oh man, pizza's
that
always
is
the
killer for me, dude.
the
Pizza's
pizza.
killer.
What's your favorite pizza place?
Ooh, that's if I could only choose one, I would choose Crockers.
Okay.
I'm, I'd choose Crockers. I'm grew up on, it's just they're so damn expensive. Crockers is very expensive. How about you? Who's your favorite pizza joint?
Oh, I'd say Jay's Pizza. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Jay's is
Oh
is
yeah.
close to me. I always like the double crust.
The double crust.
Yeah.
I've always like I grew up with Jay's Pizza. I mean, yeah, my dad obviously because living on the southwest side. I mean, living like a few blocks away from Jay's, it's like
Oh,
he would
here's
always get it.
here's where I probably threw you off. I
Oh,
probably
you're
threw
fine.
you off. Crocker's Pizza no longer exists, okay?
Okay.
They used to be where Jay's Pizza is. No shit.
Really?
Yes. And I grew up eating that pizza. But a close second, I mixed this up. I mixed them both up, okay? Because I grew up with Crocker's and Krause's.
Oh, okay.
Krause's, you know.
Krause's does have good pizza.
Okay. Krause's would be my favorite now. I just my brain was stuck in old times there. Krause's would be my favorite now. Crocker's used to be where Jay's was, and then they had a place in Town Plaza, like a bar or something. But Krause's, yeah, Krause's would be my favorite, and then Jay's Pizza.
Jay's Pizza is good. Krause's is good too. Like I like the wings from Krause's. I like their honey mustard wings and the honey barbecue
Uh,
wings. Oh, they're so good.
yeah, they got good wings.
Oh, they're so good. Like
I'll
I
tell
remember
you who
the
does.
last time I got them was
What's that?
the last time I got their wings. Like I mean, they had like the box, and like I remember I almost went through the entire thing myself. It was so good.
Oh man, I yeah, I'll admit I'm not a mustard guy. I don't know if it's because the name has must and turd in it, but I think it's just the color and stuff. I'm really weird when it comes to creamy shit. Picky, serious.
It happens. I mean,
Uh, I'm despite my overweightness, I'm actually pretty picky. But fried chicken, man, I'll tell you what, this
ooh,
place Brewster over at Bellamy's, man, they make
Bellanese
some.
is amazing. I love
Oh
their
my
chicken and
gosh.
JoJo's. Oh my god,
Oh,
that's literally like 2 streets over from my grandma's, and like,
oh, nice.
and I'd be like, cause my grandma lives on East Fourth Street,
Okay.
and like my mom grew up in Brewster, and she went to Fairless, and she transferred to Massillon her senior year,
Oh, cool.
and but like growing up there, she's like, "Oh, I'd always get the chicken there," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And like almost like every now and then when I'd go over to Mo, my grandma would be like, "Okay, like let's order chicken from Bellamy's." I'm like, "Oh yes," like it sounds so good. So like I'd go with like my grandma or my dad, and we'd go pick it up there, and we'd take it back, and I'd be full. I'd eat
Oh,
like 4 pieces of chicken, and I'm sitting there like I can't eat no more.
oh,
Like
dude.
it fills me
Remember,
up.
remember, I said I had to go to a banquet for my one daughter for cross
Yes,
country, right?
yes.
I was dreading how the food was going to be.
Let me guess, Bellamy's
Well,
chicken.
it was either Bellamy's or Pirate's Pizza. I don't know which one.
I don't really remember having Pirates Pizza. Like I think I have once or twice before with my grandma, but one place that is no longer open there in Brewster, I don't think, but east of Chicago. That's what I
Yeah,
remember. Was the east of
yeah.
Chicago pizza.
Well, Pirate's Pizza does chicken good. They
Ooh.
got pretty good pizza too. But either way, let's just say the food was great at this banquet. It was so weird because it ended up actually being fantastic. And with my Metro Billy, so hell, I went for seconds, dude. I'll admit it.
It happens.
And when that food wasn't getting eaten after everybody was done eating, I grabbed myself a third chicken breast. Oh yeah, no shit, yeah. Shameless, shameless,
I
dude.
mean, when it's good, it's good. I mean, you can't complain.
But oh my gosh, chicken though, chicken can have an effect. I don't know if it's on everybody, but sometimes eating chicken can give you gas. I don't know if
Yes,
you've
it
ever
can.
had that.
If you eat too
Um,
much of it, yeah.
yeah, and you end up becoming, very unpopular after eating too much chicken. Yeah,
You clear out the
but
entire room.
yeah, yeah, it's evil. We were talking about
29
uh,
days, Zach. Hey, man, good luck. My buddy Zach here, he's going in the Air Force. He leaves in 29 days.
oh wow, cool. Good luck, dude.
Dude, I saw your
Good luck,
post
Zach.
yesterday.
Now,
But
did he graduate with you
yes, he
also?
did. He did.
That's cool.
Like I remember for a while he didn't know what he wanted to do and he talked to me and he was like, "Hey, well, do you have the recruiter's number?" Well, I gave him the recruiter's number and he talked with him and here he's leaving in 29 days. Which, dude, I'm glad that you're pursuing it, man. What are you going in for if you're still like on here right now, Zach? What job did you pick? If not, I
Yeah, I
could
don't know.
text him. But
Yeah, I don't know if dude's still on here or not. I don't know. Usually a number pops up.
right, but it hasn't been doing that.
No. So I don't even know if we still have Sean with us or not. I mean, if
I have
so,
no
he
idea.
he hasn't chimed in one damn bit, dude.
I think he either got off or he's just watching.
Yeah.
But hey,
Hopefully,
regardless.
hopefully he didn't get off by watching. Uh,
Okay, I see what you did there.
no. But
I don't even want to picture that. Thanks.
I don't know. Maybe it's that exciting. I don't know, Jonah.
Oh my god.
You know, we were talking about people sharing stuff online that they shouldn't share online. Have you have you ever seen somebody, and this is have you ever seen somebody rant on Facebook about wanting to violently do something to somebody?
What?
Like they're pissed off and they're wanting
Oh
revenge on
my.
somebody and they post that shit. Have you ever seen that? I have.
I have like I've seen it only because of not people that I personally know, but I've seen it like on like somebody shared it or they're like, what the hell did I just read? And like it's just like there's moments where I scroll across like Facebook or like other social media platforms. I'm like, what am I even looking at? Like, who would say that? Like, who
Oh,
would
dude,
say they
I've
want to do something like that? Like I
I've
get
seen
you're
it.
angry. Like I get it. People upset you. You get angry. It happens to the best of us, and we can always lose our minds because of it. But it's just like, why would you admit to wanting to do something crazy like that? You could get yourself in serious trouble.
Right. I've seen it. I've seen people plotting to get revenge on somebody's ass and putting it on Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're actually saying that here. Because if something happens, somebody's ass gonna save that page, take a picture of it, whatever. You know what I mean? You're putting it out there, and then if
Right.
you actually do something, I've seen it. I've seen people put shit out about, what they're gonna do to somebody, and I'm like, oh, really? Can they really be this goofy to actually post this shit online? It's crazy, crazy. But I've seen that, yeah, somebody's pissed off at somebody and they're planning on getting them back and actually post it on Facebook. It's like, because if you get caught and then somebody has that information that you were premeditating this shit, I don't know. People put some goofy shit on here. I don't know why, but I guess
know.
it gets so worked up that they don't give shit who hears it, I don't know.
It's crazy. Like, you can mess up your life by it. Like, for example, if like you wanted to go into like the military, or if you wanted to pursue a good job, like your employer could go back and look at that and be like, I'm not going to hire that person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that person to be a part of something. You can get yourself in serious trouble. You could have
Yeah.
law enforcement banging on your door, be like, oh, you made this threat to somebody. It's a threat to their safety. And next thing you know, you're being hauled out in handcuffs. Like, I don't understand why people aren't so bright. Like, I get it. We all we get upset with each other from time to time, but you don't have to say you want to like physically harm them.
Oh yeah. Another thing is, dude, and I'm not saying guys don't do this to girls. I'm not saying that because I imagine guys do this too. But I've seen this more with women. That's why I'm saying it. And absolutely trying to ruin somebody on Facebook.
Yeah, they like sit
Absolutely
there and they try to ruin
paranoid.
somebody's life. Like, they'll sit there and be like, "Oh, well, she did this, she did that, they did this, they did that," and it's just like he said, she said, and it's a mess because they start arguing on social media. Then they like try to fight, and then they try to rip each other's hair out. Then all you hear is, "Oh, you're a bitch, you're a bitch," rip people's hair out, and it's insane. Like a lot of the fights that I would see in high school would be about social media. Oh, you tried to steal my boyfriend. Oh, you called me fat. Oh,
Yeah.
you said this, you said that. And the next thing you know, somebody's getting drugged down the hallway by their hair, and
Yeah.
everybody's like just like, what the hell is going on? People would sit there in the corner and
That's
record
got to
it.
be weird.
You would have you'd have teachers running to stop it. You have kids like just gathering around, like, interrogating it and wanting it to keep going. You have kids recording it. You have kids staring like, what the hell is going on? I'd just be the person to sit there and I'd be like, what the actual hell is going on? As like all these teachers are like jumping into action to like take care of it. Like, I saw one where this kid actually hit the cop. Like, he was like wailing on this one kid that he was beating up, and like, I'm not saying it's a good thing that they were fighting, but he was sitting there just pounding this dude's face. And then the cop goes in to break it up, and he turns around and swings on the cop.
Oh shit.
Like, he didn't even know it was the cop. He thought it was some other kid trying to pull him off, so he went to deck him.
Yeah, see, we didn't have, we didn't have the whole social media thing when I was in
Right,
school.
which
So
which
I can
is a
only
good thing in a
imagine.
way, but because you wouldn't have to deal with people talking either trash about somebody or like arguments and negativity. Like, social media has a lot of that, but yes, social media has its ups and downs. I'm glad we have it to keep in contact with people and certain things, but I don't like it because there's always arguments, there's always disagreements, there's always hate.
I mean, that's got to be weird, dude, that you're sitting in a classroom and that you could have two people in the classroom across a room from each other, Everything's chill, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're just scrapping because they were pissing around on their phones. That's so
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, I've seen it happen. Like, I was sitting in what was it? What class was it? English class. I forget what year it was, but it was in high school, and I'm sitting there just doing my work, and we had a substitute teacher that day, and the one kid that tried to fight this kid was not in that class, but they both knew there was a substitute teacher. And he wasn't going to do anything when the teacher was there because the teacher knew those two had issues, like, with
Okay.
each other. And the teacher was like, you know what, if you keep coming around here, I'm going to have somebody, come get you. And, well, the teacher wasn't there that day. And this dude literally started talking trash and got in the door, was screaming, and he was cussing and was just yelling at this guy. And the kid's like, dude, I don't want nothing to do with you. It was my class. And he comes in, throws all of his stuff off of his desk. Kid gets up, he flips the desk, and they just start fighting.
Mm.
And I'm like, what? Like, I'm sitting there, just my jaws dropped because I didn't know what the hell to do. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm just sitting there watching it happen. This dude like flipped the desk. He's like pounding this dude down. A kid's throwing this dude on the desk. This substitute's screaming at him and pulling, trying to break it up. I like a few kids were pounding on the wall to get the attention of the teacher in the other room, like
Oh, gee.
screaming for help, and one of the kids goes running out trying to get like a principal or something. And these two kids are just trying to like kill each other in the middle of a classroom. And I'm like, what the actual hell's going on? Like, and here come to find out, the whole fight was about somebody said something about someone's sister.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, first off, you don't need to be talking about somebody's family. Second, you don't need to try to kill each other in the middle of a school, in a classroom where kids are trying to learn.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
that obviously was not a priority to them. They obviously did not give a shit.
they didn't care. They really didn't care. And one of them that was I really remember from senior year was this kid was being picked on a lot. I mean a lot. He got a lot of crap throughout the school year. They're like, oh, make fun of him all because like, oh, well, you're gay, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, leave the kid alone. If he's gay and he's comfortable with who he is, leave him alone. Like, who cares? Let him be him. Like, don't mess with him. And people would just like mess with him all because of his sexuality and like what he wanted, believed in. I'm like thinking that's so wrong. If you want to be what you want to be, that's fine with me. Just be happy. I don't care. And this dude was like, oh, like going off on him, and like he got in his face. And so that kid got set up. He took the dude's phone and he chucked it. He chucked it down the hallway, and like
Yeah.
it literally hit the ceiling and broke the ceiling tile and smacked into a locker. And think he shattered the kid's home screen or whatever on his phone. And this dude like tried to swing at him, and that kid that was being bullied ducked and picked him up by his legs and slammed him.
Oh,
But luckily it
shit.
was right outside of a teacher's room, and he heard all of it, and he came running out.
Oh,
And I
damn.
was like, okay, I'm gonna go the other way now. So I turned around and walked away. This mind you, was at like 7:15 in the morning. It was
Oh,
before the
wow.
school day
Early.
even started. Like the late bell would be at like 7:30. So like I'd always walk the halls after I'd eat breakfast in the morning at school. So I just walk around the halls and just listen to music or talk to friends before class. And I was just doing laps around the high school upstairs, and I was like, well, I had environmental science first mod, and it was in the science wing, and it was right outside of Mr. Citron's room, which is right close. Okay, oh jeez, right close to the hallway in the science wing of the door exits. Like right
Uh-huh.
after you go through the set of doors, like to get to the science wing, the hallway off to the left. that goes to the outside, or the teacher parking lot. Well, his door was off to the right hand side, close to that, and it was right in front of his room. And this kid got slammed, and he comes running out, and he ends up breaking up the fight, thank God. But these kids were just screaming and everything, and he was like, I think he was either on the phone with somebody or was talking to a kid, and the next thing you know, the fight breaks out.
Was there a lot of shit, people getting shit over being gay or whatever?
Um, yes and no. Depends on who they were. Like, for example,
Okay.
like, as bad as it sounds, like if there was somebody that was always bullied and they knew that they were gay or something, they'd always like pick on them and like break them down. They didn't care like what they went through. They just wanted to tear them apart. Like, which is horrible. And there's just like certain kids that I remember that would always get the short end of the stick on everything by everybody for no apparent reason. They'll be like, "Oh, well, like, it's the style of your clothes. It's how you look. It's like where you come from." They don't even care if they have a rough home life. They don't even care if they were having harmful thoughts for themselves. They wouldn't even care if one of their family members was sick or dying. They wouldn't care. They would tear
Yeah.
these kids apart, and like it would really upset me. And I've seen it happen where this one kid, his, I think it was his uncle or somebody, literally just passed away, and this kid was not leaving him alone, and he snapped. And I was like, it was insane. Like, I can't express to you how many times people would just degrade somebody all because of their sexuality or because of how they dressed or they weren't popular.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
so you could be a gay kid and
right,
have it all right, and then you could be a gay kid and not have it all right. Is that
which is very true, and it's very sad that way.
huh?
Because like I personally, like, I believe everybody deserves to be happy. Like, if you're happy, with your sexuality and who you are, more power to you. Like, I support you for that. But it's just like, I don't support those who bash them and try to call them a bunch of names and start things with them all because of them being happy.
Yeah.
It's not.
John's back. John's
Hey,
back.
Sean.
I'm not even going to bring up the fact that it's strange we started talking about gay people getting picked on and Sean's on here.
Oh.
But seriously, that's fucked up, you know? I
It
mean,
really is.
so I mean it sounds like these kids probably would have been picked on if they were straight anyways,
Yes.
from what you're saying.
Yes. It doesn't matter if they were straight, gay, bisexual, whatever they wanted to be. Like, it didn't matter. Somebody would degrade them so bad. They'd be like, "Oh, well, it's a sin to be gay. You shouldn't even be alive. Blah 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 blah." And I'm sitting there like
Damn.
thinking, you don't say stuff like that. Like, you're such a horrible person to sit there and say something like that about somebody.
It's pretty sick though. Yeah, Sean says, "Yeah, man, it's very sad. It's
I agree,
sick
Sean. It is.
that I mean the way you're talking about how people, I mean, just work on completely breaking somebody down. It's
Those are the
sadistic.
morons I do not miss in high school. Those are the people I'm glad I could escape.
Yeah.
And
And
like,
then, these kids, and then okay, you leave the school. Okay, you leave the school, and then you don't really leave
amen to
that
that,
shit
Sean.
behind. It follows you onto Facebook and everything else, It's messed up shit. Let's see, Sean says, I believe Jesus said to love your fellow man and treat everyone
Yes, sir.
and I will read this verbatim, even though this is a really, treat everyone the you would want to be treated, which I imagine he means the way you would want to be treated. But I'm an asshole, so I'm going to read it just like it says. But yeah, you're right, Sean, and that's the thing. But I mean, see, when I was a kid, okay, let's say you were getting the shitty end of the stick, you were getting
Right.
picked on or whatever, then
I
you
mean,
left school or whatever, and it was over, But now the kids can't even get away from it because then bastards control you on Facebook or wherever,
yeah, they'll either interrogate you on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, like over text, anything. Any way they'd be able to get a hold of you and try to break you down, they will.
Sick shit, man.
Like,
Sean put way in that sentence. Sean's hating me right now for that. He put in such a nice thing, and then I'm a bastard and got to read it. Yeah.
but it's just like
Well,
like I'm not the most perfect person in the world. I've had my fair share of times where I might have said something that could have hurt somebody's feelings and like could have like upset them and like that made them feel like they're being picked on. But did I ever like intend to it to be that way? No, like I didn't intend for it to be that way. But like I know what it feels like is because I had my fair share of being bullied all throughout like elementary school, parts of junior high, and like people trying to mess with me in like high school. Like it sucks. Like it's not fair.
oh shit. Sean says, "Hey Paul, you want to end up in my crawl space?"
Sean, what are you gonna do to him in your crawl space? I don't want to know. Paul, you want me to save you?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe crawl space is code word for something, and he wants somebody up in his crawl space. I don't know. Sean says, "Just kidding, man." Uh,
Are you just kidding on having him in the crawl space or wanting somebody in your crawl space? If you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Like
But
Sean, what are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to open up to us, buddy? It's okay. It's the 21st century. It's 2018. It's legal now.
yeah, obviously we're not haters.
Right,
Uh,
clearly.
but it's you hearing that from such a young person's point of view. You telling me about the school and messing with people on the social media and never letting up and all that shit. It seems that, in my mind, seems to clear up a lot of starting to understand why kids are so fucked up now.
Right, and it's very sad, and it really upsets me to think that's where I came from. Oh well, that's my generation of people doing things like that to others. Like I mean, it's not just all all of really Sean. No man, I was talking about putting him to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
quotations too. So that kind of scares me, Sean.
Yeah.
That still
He
sounds
said that
kind of
still sounds kind of suspect. That's
Sean.
exactly what you were saying.
Oh wow, but like it's very upsetting to think. Well, that's like I don't want to have my generation be remembered for those like who are like very like rude and easy to put people down or to like do stupid things and to complain about all but nothing but politics and like try to ruin
Yeah.
people's lives. Like I don't want that to happen because like
God, Sean,
putting
putting
him to
him to
sleep with
sleep
me.
with my hammer. Oh God, he's sadistic.
Sean, you need help. Are you talking
Yeah.
about a physical hammer or never mind. Just never mind.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about your ball peen. But you know but the thing is we have
God.
these. And now, following up that, this is going to sound horrible. We have these incredible tools, no pun intended, but we have I got to remember, I'm talking to younger folks here. It's harder, more recovery time is needed for you guys.
It's all
Um,
good.
but we got these amazing things. We got these cell phones. We got the internet, and
Right.
it's like you got to remember that with these things, that so many great things can be done with them. There's always horrible shit going to be done with it too by the asshole.
Isn't this supposed to be a serious subject? Y'all need Jesus. Thanks, buddy.
Oh gosh,
Well, you know what, Sean?
he's
Thank
getting
you
right
for
this time.
thank you for saying I need Jesus because I got my Bible right here. I got it.
All right, cool. Well, Jonah's got that covered. I'm screwed right now, I guess.
Well,
I'm
Sean,
screwed.
if you need me to read something out of the Bible, I could read you something right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's any answer to this shit that kids are going through now. I mean, it was more physical when I was a kid. People fought. You know, it duke it out, and I mean, there was. You're always going to have assholes. That's all there is. Sean
Which
says
is
I
true.
can't find my Bible. Haven't seen it in months.
What'd you do with it, buddy?
I don't know, but he's preaching at us.
Preaching at us when he can't find his Bible.
Yeah.
Shame, shame, shame. No, I'm kidding. Like I got this Bible that I got for as a gift from my church for youth group. As a gift, they gave us like a Bible where it was like a daily Bible where you'd read Bible verses, like every single day. And it was
Right.
a very nice Bible, like a very nice leather cover and everything. I had it, I started reading it, and I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere here in my house, but I have a bunch of like the smaller New Testaments, and like the one that I have here, which is nice because in the table of contents, it'll tell you if you're, like, for example, it says, for days you are like having a rough time. It'd be like, for sickness and pain, sorrow and grief, for stress, for suicide, for temptation, trouble, weary, worried, for like all these different things. In the table of contents, it'll tell you what to read for those days. And
That's cool.
it's come in handy. For like some rough days, if you're having trouble with anything, you just like I don't even have to be having a bad day. I'll just randomly like open it and decide to read something. I'll sit there and I'll say, just, lead me to a topic that I need to hear or that I need to read. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it's what I need to hear. Sometimes it makes no sense right away, but then a few days later it pops and like a light bulb just clicks, and I'm like, wait a second. I just read something about that like a couple of days ago.
Well, Lord knows I definitely need improvement. Oh my goodness.
Like you and I both. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect in all by any means. But it's just like there's times where I'm like, man, yeah, we do,
Sean
Sean.
says, Sean says me and Jonah have the same wallpaper.
Yeah, we do. Ohio State
That's,
wallpaper.
that's wallpaper?
Yeah, right here.
I thought it was a banner.
No, it's actually wallpaper. It goes all the way around my room. And then
Oh, that's cool.
my room is scarlet and gray.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a die-hard Buckeye fan. I have scarlet and gray room and Buckeye wallpaper, and I have Buckeye stickers on my walls and on my door, and hell, I have an Ohio State Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what I've been seeing lately? Every now and then, it seems like I see it whenever I'm out in I almost said pubic. Whenever I'm out in public, it seems like I always see somebody wearing a Michigan jacket or sweatshirt or
Well,
something. Always.
poor people. They need Jesus. No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like I see a lot of people that have Michigan stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, you're in Ohio, but yet you're wearing Michigan stuff. But
Yeah.
okay, kudos to
Which I
you.
mean, that's their right. If you're a Michigan fan,
No,
cool. But
don't bother me any. But like, I like to
right,
give people a hard time.
right. But I don't often see Penn State shirts.
Right. You don't really see Penn State. You don't really see like let's see, West Virginia
Yeah.
or Indiana, Illinois, and like you see like Kent State, Ohio State, Akron, Toledo, Cincinnati. You see
Right.
schools
And
like
that
that
makes
because it's in
sense.
Ohio, right?
Right.
But then you see like Michigan, Alabama, no,
Yeah.
like for example, like I'm a diehard Ohio State fan, but my second favorite team is Notre Dame.
Okay.
Like, so like I'll sit there like I'm cheering for Ohio State and I cheer for Notre Dame as well. But if last time Ohio State played Notre Dame, I'm like Notre Dame, you're going down. Like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna stop my Buckeyes. That's just how
Yeah.
I view it.
Sean says we also have stickers. I'll bet you guys got Ohio State everything.
Oh yeah,
Cans,
their room is
koozies, everything.
Ohio State stuff. And I mean, my room has been scarlet and gray since I was 5 years old.
Do you ever think it was kind of weird though that, Ohio State was, I'll just go ahead and say our school, I'm from Ohio.
Right.
Do you ever think it's weird though that our friggin' mascot is a Buckeye?
Some people are like, dude, it's a hairless nut. It's like a worth, and I'm like thinking, well, yeah, it is a hairless nut. It's also like they're like, oh, what's a worthless nut? Blah 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 blah. Well, this is the Buckeye State, so it makes sense. It's
Yeah,
in the heart of
yeah.
Ohio.
I
So
mean, it does.
like
But,
and like, but like people were like, what? Have you ever like thought of, oh, your mascot is a nut? And I'm like, I don't really care.
yeah. Sean says, did you say Uzis? I don't recall saying Uzis. I don't recall Jonah saying that. Sean's
Okay,
on the violent tip
Sean,
today.
what are you thinking? Like, are you like trying to convert to some like hate group or something? I could report you to the government if I need to.
Uh,
Oh, candy Buckeyes are delicious. Yes, they are.
I'll agree. I'll agree. I
Oh
love them.
my. Like I remember the one year I made Buckeyes and let's just say right after I made them they were nice and fresh and they were still hot. I kept stuffing my mouth. And my
Oh,
mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
so
I'm
you were
like
stuffing your mouth with hairless nuts.
with the edible one. Oh god, that sounded even more fucked up than it already
Yeah, the
is.
chocolatey ones.
Yes, I went to say yes with the edible ones, but wait again. But again, that sounds more messed up than I already.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Just remember,
chocolate
mouthful
and
of
peanut,
chocolate balls is the way to keep Jonah happy.
chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah, brown balls in his mouth is what he likes. Um,
I'm not even gonna say anything because it sounds so wrong.
Sean says, I thought you said, I bet you guys have Ohio State Uzis. Oh,
Ohio
I said
State,
koozies. The can coolers. That's what
yeah,
I
the
said,
can coolers.
koozies. Okay, I can see
Uzis.
how that
I was
sounds
like
like ooze.
Uzis. I was like, if I could have an Ohio State Uzi, then honestly it'd be kind of cool. Be like have like an
Yeah,
Uzi, but yet again have like the cover of it to be like all Ohio State like draped like weapon. That'd be kind of cool. Like stylish.
yeah, going gangster and shit.
With an
Um,
Ohio State Uzi.
yeah. Sean says, oh, I see, my bad. Yeah, Uzis are actually Israeli uh,
Hmm.
weapons there. They're really popular in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
The Uzis were big. Uzis were big. Which brings me, just today, that's funny because when I think of Uzis, I think of Miami Vice. You ever see the TV show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, that was hot shit when it was out in the 80s, man. It really
You
was.
walk around with an Uzi.
Yeah. And Uzi ties into another subject we talked about, mass shootings. I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, a dude walked into a McDonald's, a guy who lived in Massillon, Ohio, in fact.
Really.
Yeah, went into a McDonald's out in California and shot, I don't know, 20 some people or something. One of the weapons he had was an Uzi. See, everything's interconnected.
Right.
Massillon, mass shooting, Uzis.
That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I could show you where he lived in Massillon even.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Did he
Weird
end up
shit.
like taking his own life, or did he end up getting killed by the police?
They shot him. A
Okay.
sharpshooter got him.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it's kind of it sounds like a sick joke, but I
Right,
mean, some
but
people refer to it as the McMassacre. You know what I mean?
wow.
Yeah.
I actually think I know what you're talking about. Actually, I just didn't know the guy was from here.
Yeah. I think he grew up in Canton, but he lived in Massillon. He had a nice house.
Wow. Like what side
Really
of
nice
town?
one. Northeast side, I think off of 6th Street.
Okay, that's not that far from me.
Right, right. Got a lot
Cause
of history right around where you live.
right, because right around where I live, on Seneca, right off of State, and I live, a couple blocks from the hospital, and and from the park as well. So it's just like I know this area very well, and it's just like you have historic 4th Street, which is not that far from me, and
Yeah.
then like literally like 10th Street, like just go across State, and 10th Street's like right there. So
Sean says, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about." Yeah, I remember being a kid, and when that happened, that was really that had a negative impact. I mean, I
a lot
remember
of
seeing
people.
that on the news. He shot a couple kids right out front of it that were on their bicycles, and then went inside and then started shooting people. Yeah,
That is
yeah,
insane.
yep. I guess when he I guess him and his wife were both pretty crazy. The police were called on them a lot, and he practiced with his high-powered rifles right in his basement.
What?
Yeah, I guess there's holes and shit in the walls in that house in
Oh
the
my
basement.
God.
Yeah, yeah, pretty weird shit. Yeah, he went to California. He went to California, and I don't know. I can't remember how long he lived there in a little place called San Ysidro, like in the San Diego
Hmm.
metropolitan area, and told his wife he was going hunting for humans and went to
What?
McDonald's. Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
God. That is
Yep.
insane.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've gotten some bad orders from McDonald's before and they've pissed me off, but never to
But
that
nothing
level.
to that level to where you'd be like,
Uh,
oh, I'm just gonna, you know,
yeah.
make your day a
Uh,
lot better. Like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. That dude, he would be what my wife would say. He had an extra bowl of crazy flakes that morning.
Extra bowl of crazy flicks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would either say who pissed in that guy's Wheaties or
Yeah.
something
No
like
shit.
that.
Here we go. Sean says it says his name was James Huberty. Yep. He killed 21 people.
Jesus.
And see, this was I believe that at the time this happened, this was before a lot of cities had SWAT teams and shit like that too.
Right.
And when it happened, it helped raise awareness that people really needed more, police departments across the country really needed more of these special, special weapons and tactics
Well, I mean, they
teams.
had to crack down on it. I mean, like, what
Yeah,
else are you gonna do? There's some crazy people out there. You never know when you're gonna need
yeah,
somebody for that situation.
yeah. It seemed like it really kicked off a trend too. Not saying that people hadn't done shit like that before that, but it seemed to have really helped reignite. Stuff like that started to seemed like it started happening more rapidly.
July of 1984.
Yep. Yep, I would have been 8 or 9 years old, and I remember that. I remember seeing that shit, and that
That's
just
insane.
totally messed with me. It was weird because back then, especially back then, when you saw the news, that was like the truth. You know, especially
Right.
being a kid. And news, I'll tell you what, the news when I was a kid, a lot of the time it was a lot more graphic. Like they'd
Really.
show a lot more shit, like bodies and shit,
Oh
more.
boy.
Um, let's see. Yeah, it was prior to Columbine,
Well,
Sean.
yeah,
Yeah.
Columbine
It's
was in
Columbine was
'99,
99, yeah.
April of
Uh,
'99.
which one of the really disturbing school shootings was I think it was in a town called Jonesboro or whatever. I think two junior high school students set it up and they pulled a fire alarm and they set up a
Yes,
crossfire thing. I
and
mean,
when they pulled the alarm when all the kids started going out, they opened fire.
yeah, it's diabolical that, these kids are thinking this shit. Sean says April 20th, 1999. Okay. See, now, if ever I could get wasted lunch, get to the place where, because I'd really love to get to a point where, I could end up having a sit down kind of thing, have
Right.
people sit right with me and a couple cameras or whatever. And I think, Sean loves looking this stuff up,
Yes, he
right there. And
does.
I'm like, dude, Sean would be the guy to have fact checking and looking shit
Right.
up while we
Like
were bullshitting.
Sean and I like doing a
You're
lot of
good at that
research,
too.
but he's very quick with it. Like me, I'll take my time looking into
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like I want to know I have all the facts before I'll sit there and just be like, "Oh, well, that's
Right.
what's going on." And like if that was possible, like have Sean do some like research. Like I'm good at talking about like things that, like, for example, I love military history, so I could sit here and talk about military history almost all day. So like
Yeah.
if people would be like, oh well, the topic today is like anything about World War II, like if like for example having a live audience and someone says, hey, well, what was this? I'd be like, oh well, that was this part of the war. This was this part of the
Yeah.
war. This is what happened. Like I'm good with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to like sit there and talk in front of people, or to like sit there and be like talking right now and like have people watch it later. It doesn't bother me really.
Yeah.
But it's just like Sean would be good at like the research aspect, and he is.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I could sit there and be like, Sean, look up something like, for example, let's say I'll give you a challenge, Sean. How about Virginia Tech? The Virginia Tech shooting. The reason why I bring that up is because we were talking about all that crazy stuff. Was
Yeah.
a cousin of mine actually. Like I can't think of who exactly which cousin it is, but they were at Virginia Tech when the shooting happened.
Yeah. When that Song Ho Choi or whatever the
Yeah,
hell his name was
yeah.
lost his shit.
I had a cousin that was actually at Virginia Tech at the time
Wow.
when that
Scary.
happened, and I was young. I was younger.
Oh yeah. That
Like
was a while ago, so you had to be real damn young.
I was like maybe like what 6 or 7, I think.
Oh gosh.
Probably. I can't remember exactly when, but
Did you see the guy's little manifesto video or whatever? Or at least they released some of it, where he's ranting,
yeah, where he was ranting, saying he was gonna, commit all these crimes, that he hated people,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, it's because of my race and how I am treated and how many of my people are treated. I want to make you feel as miserable as you make me," something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, it's just insane to like see stuff that people like would leave behind, knowing that they're like no longer with us, and their mindset of what they had, and
Yeah.
how much they ruined and took away from so many people, their futures, their careers, their lives, future
Yep.
families. They ended it all, and without a care in the world. And to
Well,
me,
and
that's
that's
very
the thing.
hard to think
Do
of.
you think when these idiots do this shit, do you think they should even release these videos? I think it helps inspire the next guy.
Yeah, and Sean just said apparently he was inspired by Columbine,
A lot of madmen were. Yeah.
which
We were talking about that.
I
But
don't doubt that.
um that's the thing. I mean, I wonder if this shit helps inspire the next would-be mass shooter when they release these videos of these guys bragging about what they're about to do, how they're about to enjoy their revenge, like that shooting down in Florida at that school. You know, that kid had a little video of himself
Oh
talking
yeah,
about how he was going to go down in history and this and that. You know, there's Sean hitting us with the information. 32
32.
innocent people lost their lives.
Yeah, and as I was saying, Sean, I had a cousin that was actually there when that happened. So
Yeah, that's some freaky shit. But I mean, do you think they should release these videos of these people bragging about this shit?
that's very a tough, controversial question. I mean, they the reason why I say they should is to show like how truly sick these people were and to show the world that there's some like negativity out there. But
Yeah,
yet they shouldn't because people will like say, oh, I'm going to be better than them. I want to one up them. I want to raise
yeah,
the bar. That's the reason why they shouldn't. So there's pros and cons to almost everything. It could be any little thing there's pros and cons to. But I personally believe if it's truly so sadistic and sick and twisted, they should not release it at all
yeah.
and keep it.
Well, I just think, you know, when these people are on there, okay, like there was that one kid who was a movie director's son who, you know, did that thing out in California. This was years ago. Went driving around and shooting people and shit. I can't even remember the dickhead's name, but you know, he was bitching about all these beautiful women, you know, not wanting anything to do with him and being pissed at women and stuff. And to
Um,
me, it's like,
and
okay, let's say the next guy sees this and he feels like he's in the same boat this guy was in.
like for example, another thing that, when, like you said, how nobody wanted to deal with him. There was that John Hinckley Jr. who tried to assassinate Reagan
Yeah,
when all he wanted to do was to impress a movie star,
right.
and it's just like, are you stupid? Like, how is that impressive? It's not.
That's too. Yeah, just crazy. Sean says definitely should be released to psych doctor. Well, the thing is,
Yes,
it's oh, you're Sean saying these videos should be released to psych doctors. Yeah,
to doctors who could like examine the footage and to see the mindset of these people, they should be able to release it to just them. But to like the general public, anybody that could get their hands on it, I believe they shouldn't.
yeah. Now I could also see if if for some reason victims' families wanted to see because they wanted some kind of an explanation why the hell somebody would do this.
I could understand that too, but that still is a very controversial
Yeah.
aspect too.
Um, I don't know, man. It's crazy shit.
It truly is. There's crazy people out there.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it helps inspire other maniacs. But you know, I did a show a few days back with that was about the mental health care situation.
Yeah,
And I think with the way things are deteriorating with the availability of mental health care, we're going to see even more. You know, I
Elliot
mean,
Rodger was the
Elliot
director's son.
Rogers was the director's son. Yeah, I remember
This is why
now.
I like having Sean like on the show to be able to like comment and let people know because he's like, oh, that's who it was.
Yeah, well,
He's quick.
that's why I said, man, I'd love to get to the point where, you know, things turned into, you know, I had some microphones and a table, and people sat around here, we chilled, we BS'd, and I could see Sean being the
The tech guy.
info,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I
tech
can see
guy
it.
who digs that stuff up.
I can see
But
it. Well, hey, maybe one day if you'd ever like come across, a little bit of money on a rainy day, or
yeah,
if you're able to invest in something like that, maybe nothing too fancy, but maybe just like a camera or possibly a GoPro. If there was any way that you're able to like connect it with your computer or with with a phone to be able to like broadcast it to not only YouTube but to Facebook as well. They have both
Yeah.
platforms running at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to be able to do is run them both at the same time. I think I need a laptop or some shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you would. Well, I mean, if you do have a computer too, but you could do it with a computer, but with a laptop because you're able to like transport it wherever you need it to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with the computer you can, but you have to move the whole computer system itself, then the monitor and
Right.
all that good stuff. But it's easier with a laptop, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like if I could have multiple cameras, then that also means somebody's got to be switching those damn cameras back and forth, switching which camera's covering who, but
Right.
I don't have to have that. I could handle just having one shot of both people in the same damn room. I could handle that too. Kind of like I don't know if I had to set it up kind of like a news show where we're like closer together talking or
Right.
whatever. If do a one camera show, but it would be nice to simultaneously hit
Like have
YouTube and
multiple
Facebook.
cameras like in like multiple platforms being operated at once.
Yeah. Let's see, Sean says, I see a pattern, not all, but it seems that a lot of these tragedies seem to happen in California. There are a lot. I wonder how much of it is just because California is so damn big. There's so many people. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. Um, I'm sure a person could devote a lot of time to trying to dissect that and try and figure some of that shit out. But yeah, there are a lot of these that happen in California, aren't there?
A lot do
Florida
happen in
seems to
California.
get a lot too. Florida seems to get a hell of a lot.
Yeah, there's Florida, there's California, there's stuff in Texas. I mean,
Yeah,
the like these bigger states, it seems like a lot of tragedies do happen in.
yeah. I think
But
Dwayne
what's up,
Lanham.
Dwayne? Not many happen in Texas. Well, that's true,
Oh,
Sean.
well, I think
But
maybe compared to California, not many, but man, Florida seems to, and I mean, the shit happens everywhere. Let's face it.
right,
I'm not going to try and kid myself because the next one could happen right here. God forbid. Well, God forbid it happens anywhere. Unfortunately, it does.
yeah, it does.
Um, but I mean, look at that shit in Vegas. Oh my gosh.
And then now there's words saying maybe there was more than just one person. But yet again, there's video of just him hauling in all
Yeah.
those suitcases.
Right.
But yet again, with how many shots that were fired, how could one person simultaneously do that and remove that heavy glass?
Yeah. Well,
So
I thought he removed that just by shooting the shit or something, didn't he?
I don't know. Like I
Or
really
if
don't
he had
know.
a damn pickaxe, I don't know.
But the sad thing is when people would go to check the room, maybe he just kept that do not disturb like the thing,
Yeah.
like the ticket on the door.
Right.
But he had two multiple rooms side by side.
Right.
So, but how can one person just be going from one place to the next simultaneously? I think there was more than one person.
You do? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Let's see. Sean says it doesn't just happen in the U.S. too. That's true. It's actually happened in England and
Yeah, there was
Canada.
one in Toronto, Sean.
Dwayne says California and Florida got it worst in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I seem to think that too, Dwayne. I mean, there's, unless, but here's the weird thing is the reporting on stuff too. I mean, if Kim Kardashian's butt is mentioned in the news, a lot of shit gets covered up.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
It's just like a lot of tragic things happen and like you hear more about like mass shootings and everything, but you don't hear things about like a church donating to like a fund for like homeless veterans or something
yeah,
like that, or like people taking others in. All you hear is the negativity aspect of things. Why can't you hear the positives? That's one
Yeah.
thing I don't like about the news. Like,
Well, that's why I try to stay away from it. But what's this one in Toronto? What's that about? I don't know anything about
fill us
that.
in, Sean. Like, I know a little bit, but I don't know at all.
Yeah, because I don't know much about that. Let's see. Sean says, I think the media kind of wants these to happen. What else would they spend days talking about? These give them ratings that no other story could. Yeah. And Dwayne saying, because the news is drama filled.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
The news, blood and guts sells papers. It gets you ratings.
But
It's
it's
unfortunate,
it's
but
it's extremely sad. Like, here's how I look at it. Like, if they could spend all that time focusing on negativity and death and shootings, but why can't they just show the good things in life, the love people have for one another? Most importantly, why can't they show God's love for each other? Why
yeah,
can't they sit there and be like, oh well, somebody went out there today and like there was a true miracle, like somebody saved someone from suicide, or
yeah.
someone donated to this fund to get people off the streets. Why can't they just show the true love people have for each other? That I
Well, the
know.
news,
I just
they're definitely not in the business of spreading hope, are they?
no, they are not. And like I see more negativity than anything, and it's truly sad.
All right, so who's Dwayne? You know Dwayne, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Classmate?
No, that's my ex girlfriend's brother.
Oh, okay, okay. So you left the girl, but you kept the brother. Okay,
I'm close with Dwayne.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's well, Sean's probably looking up that Toronto stuff. I
Yeah, he
remember
is.
I got a book, a Time Life series of books, and I go through morbid, cynical stages where I'll read about true crime a lot. And one of them is all about mass shootings,
Yeah,
and one of them covers the Hungerford killings, which was actually a little village in England where a dude went around and shot a lot of people. Let's see, what's Dwayne say? Dwayne says, but why can't we focus on positive stuff? It's contagious. Dwayne says, yeah, which is what you were saying. It I don't know if they think people don't want to hear about it. I don't know if they take polls and ask these questions. What do you want to see? I don't know. Sean says apparently he fired into restaurants. He killed 2 and injured 13. So they love hitting them damn restaurants where everybody's gathered up, don't they?
they always like to go to places where they know people will be.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't hear about it. Oh, one guy just goes around just shoots one guy walking down the street. No, you hear about people that go to a crowded area,
Yeah.
and it's just
Oh,
like
that nightclub down in Florida, that
yes,
Pulse nightclub.
the whole nightclub situation. It was all because it was a gay nightclub, and like they hit
Yeah.
it up all because they were gay. Like how I look at it is that's horrible. Just because they are gay doesn't mean you have to go out there and kill people. Yeah, other people have many views on it. Of being like, oh, if you're gay, or if you're bisexual, or whatever you want to be, you don't
Yeah.
have to sit there and like kill somebody all because of that. Like that's horrible. Let them be happy. Love them
Yeah.
for who they are.
Yeah.
Like,
Sean says he struggled with psychosis and depression. That's bad shit.
but that doesn't mean the guy still had to go off and
Oh
and
no.
and kill 2 people and injure 13. Like
No,
that's
but
that's 15 people that got their lives messed up. 2 that could never come back.
yeah. Well, but here we go back also, to mental health care too. And here we go back also to simply um, people looking out and loving their fellow man. And
Right.
looking out for them too. More people just outwardly showed consideration for their fellow man, you'd know more about people having problems. And that's why I really wanted to do that thing on the mental health care situation, because we're in a bad situation now. There's barely any place for people to turn to with, psychological problems. It's bad, man. And it's going to end up having an effect on people. Sean says,
sad.
remember that killer who was turned down? Yeah. Sean brought that up when we were doing that show about the guy went to get help and got turned down.
He went to go get mental help, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're fine." Well, here, like a few weeks later, he ended up he just snapped and he ended up shooting up.
And that's not isolated, man. There's been several cases of that shit. I think old James Huberty, I'm not saying he was turned down or whatever, but I'm almost certain he called some hotlines too.
Right.
I'm not putting the blame on mental health care for that. I'm just saying I know he called some hotlines and stuff, but I'm just saying that we definitely don't want there to be less mental health care available for people. I mean, it's got to be something easily accessible, but there's no money in it, is what was being talked about the other day too. Let's see, Sean says, I read, don't know how true it is, that the Pulse shooter was a closeted gay man and did it to suppress his feelings. I don't know. I don't know if that was the case, but I thought I did hear about he had been to that club a few times. Wasn't he? Didn't he visit there a few times before that?
I believe the guy did. I think he either got turned down by somebody that he liked, or somebody said something to him that made him snap, or he didn't want to just like openly admit, his sexuality and decided to take it out on the world. I don't truly understand.
See, Dwayne saying yes about something.
Just, I don't understand, but it's very sad to see that people are so easy to judge and so easy to harm one another and not even have a care in the world of how many people they bring down.
Yeah. Even ready to judge and to execute, man.
Agreed. They don't care. Like, that almost leads me back to like the whole high school topic of like all those kids getting bullied. Like you never know what goes on in their lives. Like they could go home one day and just end it all, and then everybody would wonder, oh well, why did he do it? And the people that bullied them maybe would care and be like, oh well, they were my best friend, or maybe they just don't care at all, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But yet again, that's why I can't stand society anymore. There's so many people that show so much hate. Like we're supposed to love one another and not show hate. That's just not what God wants us to do. Like we're supposed to just be there for each other no matter what, regardless of religion, culture, beliefs, your sexuality, regardless of anything.
And that's the bitch about the news, though. The bitch about the news is, a lot of people want to be informed of things that are happening.
Right. Which I understand that, and I like that aspect to be informed, but all they inform us about is negative and hate.
Yeah.
If they just improve that and not focus on all this hate and all this murder and all this death and show the great things in life, I would like enjoy it a lot more than what they show.
Yeah. Let's see, Dwayne saying the mental health system is a joke sometimes. I have mental health issues, and it was hard for me to find help. Said I was suicidal and was turned away. The mental health system is a damn joke. Yeah, well, I hope that you've got some kind of support system around you, that you've got a family to look out for you. And,
Right.
As I was talking to Angela Brogan the other day, who's RM with lots of experience on psych floors, working them, worse comes to worse. It seems like one of the only options now is a damn ER, going to an ER. But if you need that shit, go to the ER. I mean, for certain. But let's see. Sean says it also seems like the news glorifies suicide and shootings and kind of says to these kids that this is the only way to be remembered. That's scary shit. Dwayne says, I got help. Eventually, I talked to Jonah. Well, that's awesome.
I remember having long conversations with him. Yeah, this was about a year ago, like around this time too. I remember it was you were at the hospital he was at the hospital that night due to reasons behind it, and I remember he ended up just texting me. He's like, I just need somebody to talk to. Will you be able to listen? And I just said, just tell me how you're feeling, what's on your mind. And I sat there for at least a good 3 hours talking to him about it all. And I was like, well, I said, well, it makes you feel this way, and then like I was explaining like why certain things might be so hard, and I was like, well, yeah, like life isn't easy. There's gonna be ups and downs and many trials, but I said
Yeah.
your like I know your mom loves you, your sister loves you, friends love you, and I said most importantly, God loves you. You're here for a reason. You have a purpose, and there's no reason to truly deny that. And I was like, maybe like seek help even further, or if nothing seems to help or everything seems to fail, like try to find comfort in God. Like maybe you could find answers that way. You never know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like I'm glad to see that you're on the right track now, and you're not like having issues like that now, and like
yeah.
now knowing that you're going to be a dad, dude. Like
Oh,
that's a
really?
big step, dude.
Congratulations.
And
That's awesome.
it's just like you're doing pretty well for yourself, and I'm glad to hear that. I really am.
And that's the thing, man, is that as terrible as things can get, they can also be that good, that
Right.
level. And, but the roller coaster of life can be a real bitch.
Yes, it can be.
Dwayne says, thank you to you.
You're welcome,
I
man.
think I think what you're talking about, I've talked about it. I've thought about it a million times. What you were talking about between you and Dwayne, and I've thought about this a million times, was, sometimes these suicides, these shootings and
Right.
stuff, maybe if somebody would have just had an open ear to some of these people, these things won't happen as much. These
Agreed.
events, these tragedies wouldn't happen if these people knew that somebody was like, hey, you can talk to me, you can tell me your story. I think a sense of isolation helps bring about lots of terrible things, feeling cut off from everything. It's bad.
It is.
Dwayne says, amen. Guys, I'm going to get a light off the toaster again. So, what the hell? I'll bring it with me. Yeah, I can't find a lighter, so here I am. I'm toasting my cigarettes.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
hey, if it's working for you, it's working. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just got to not toast my beard. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be bad. All I see is like, Paul, I think you're on fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm. There we go. Lightly browned. Mm. I'm always lightly brown. I'm not.
Don't burn yourself. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to. Dwayne says I've done that. He's used the old toaster method. Yeah, don't need any more brown. I'm brown enough as it is. I don't ever get totally fully pasty. I'm not a pasty Caucasoid, I guess. But um, yeah, but I think, that's why man, I was so happy about doing that mental health thing though.
Right.
And I think that's an important subject. And
Don't stick a fork down there, Sean says.
yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
Sean, you'd be the person to do it.
Yeah.
Wow, what the fuck? Dwayne.
Yeah. I could just picture Sean having a metal butter knife in his
Hey
mouth
guys.
sticking out. Yeah.
Like,
Going ahead and penetrating the old toaster there with it.
you just had to use the word penetrating. Come on.
I did. I did. I did. I had to say penetrate. But that would make a great picture, somebody with something sticking out. Let's see. Sean says my toaster is in my crawl space.
Okay, so looks like he's putting his ding dongs in the toaster and a crawl space.
Well, oh gosh, it's ding dong. Beautiful word that's been around forever and it's still great.
Ding dong.
Ding dong. Oh my gosh.
His Twinkie.
Yeah, the dog's whoopling over here. My gosh. It's 2:43 oven standard. Oh my
man.
gosh. Yeah, I got to wrap it up. And don't think anything when I said wrap it up. I'm talking about the show.
Well, Sean might need to wrap it before he touches that toaster. Who knows what that toaster's got? Who knows where it's been? You got some explaining to do, Sean.
Yeah. Dwayne put OMG Jonah.
Well, that's not what I was going for, but okay. Well, Sean, what were you going for? I don't know. I don't want to know what you do in your crawl space.
Yeah.
It kind of scares me. Do you take Ryan down there with you or something? Or okay, not for that reasons, but but his uncle.
Yeah. Dwayne says wrap it before you stick it in a toaster. Oh gosh.
But still, it would still hurt. It's a toaster, man. Come on.
Teresa's on. How we doing, honey? How's work? Oh my gosh. Now she hopped on here. Sean says, have a great day, Jonah, Paul, and Dwayne. Well, now I got to stay on here longer because my wife just got on.
He's like, oh
my God.
What if you're like, abort mission, my wife's on here. I'm going to run. She's like,
yeah.
I'm going to kick
now I'm staying on. Well, I can't get off now. It looked like I was trying not to. Dwayne says aluminum foil.
Oh, no, dude. Come on. No. Saran wrap. Oh, no. Oh.
Teresa's busy. Sean says, hi, Teresa. Yeah, we're talking about sticking things in toasters.
We went from talking about serious stuff like sad mass shootings, and then now Sean sticking stuff in toasters.
Teresa says, I let you call me. Okay, I guess that means she wants me to call her. So there we have it. I am going to wrap it up.
All right, sounds good.
Great time talking with all of you guys. Let's see. Dwayne says you have to have some fun with the toast. Yeah. Let's see. Sean says wrap it up before you get your toaster pregnant. Oh my gosh.
See, this goes to show Sean's lonely.
He is. Well, we have an open ear for him, but not open for some things.
Right.
All right. I'll holler at you guys later. Take care of yourselves.
Take it easy.
Thanks for being on here, guys, everybody.
No problem.
And I'll see yous later.
See ya.
Bye.